The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Why don't people understand my intention? And pens, bits and pieces, and the magic from my hand will make it weird science. Things I've never seen before. Behind closed doors, and an imagination. Weird science. Not what teachers said to do. Making dreams come true. Living tissue, warm flesh. Weird science. Plastic tubes and pots and pans, bits and pieces, and bits and pieces. My creation, is it real?
Okay. 5 points. You can't play, Catherine. 5 points. Who is singing this song?
Understand my intentions.
You know the name of the band, right?
No.
Whoa! By the way, in about half an hour, we got some people from another radio station coming in to plug their radio station. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but now it seems like a terrible idea. Oh, look, she's in the video. Oh, that's a different one. A different woman. That's a different one. Alan, who was singing that song?
I don't know.
Oh, it's the theme tune to the movie Weird Science.
I've never seen Weird Science.
Oh, mate, you should have been at our extravaganza on Saturday. Big laughs. It wasn't a racist movie like I was worried about. It wasn't rapey as we were worried about. It was a funny movie with only, I would say, 4 words that we don't say. 2 words said twice each that we don't say anymore, really.
All right.
Well, that song is the theme tune to Weird Science. It's performed by Oingo Boingo.
Oh. Oingo Boingo?
No, sorry?
Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo.
Just an instance, I can search on my Apple Music later.
Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Can you say it?
Oingo Boingo.
Close.
Not Ongo Bongo.
Bongo. It's good.
Congo.
Okay. Now, here's something. I just Googled them because I don't know anything about Oingo Boingo, right?
Yeah.
The lead singer, the gentleman in that, who actually looks a little bit too old to really be running around like that. The lead singer is a gentleman called Richard Elfman, right?
Yeah.
Who is Richard Elfman's brother? And, more importantly, what is his connection with this show?
Richard Elfman's brother, he used to be a presenter on this station.
That is the most insane nonsense I've ever heard in my life. I'll give you a clue. Richard Elfman's brother is also a musician. I would suggest a more successful musician. And he wrote many great pieces of music, but one of which is integral to the history of this show and what I am as a human being today.
Is it the Finching to the Littlest Hobo?
It's not quite. No, it's this.
Oh!
His brother is Danny Elfman, who did the music for Pee Wee Herman and many other
Batman?
movies, of which I cannot. What?
He did Batman.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, imagine if imagine, right? You're the producer of Batman, and you go, "I wonder, give me that Elfman kid. I really like what his vibe and the theme tune he did to that movie, right?" And then instead of phoning up Danny Elfman, they phone up Richard Elfman, right? And so Batman's got it's got
Batman.
kind of Batman. So the Batman film has got a. Oh, he's got a cape and a cowl. He's Batman down a bumper dinny bum 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 but then Batman and Robin are driving in a car.
Gee, I think we got the wrong brother.
We got the wrong brother, but we signed a $10 million contract with this loser. We gotta go with this. We gotta go with the Richard Elfman and not the Danny Elfman. Well, it's screwed up.
I know Danny Elfman made music for many Tim Burton films.
Many Tim Burton films. Many.
That figures. It's kind of zany.
It's crazy.
Another Beetlejuice.
Crazy. Don't say it any more times. Crazy, although I don't think I've ever seen Beetlejuice. Yes, I have. They showed it once. Okay, don't say it again. They showed it once on ITV, and I remember watching it, and after about the third ad break, I was like, what is that? Like Chris Evans has got no ads, right? Sponsored by Sky. But Chris Evans, sponsored by Sky, has got no ads, okay? Just have to say he's sponsored. Are the guests downstairs? They're here. I'll bring them in. Send in the guests. We've got Jenn and Gerry. Send them in. But come in, guys. Come in. We're even more slapdash than your radio station. Come in. Jen, do you want to sit there? Jerry, you sit there. Be with you in a second. We're just talking about Oingo Boingo of all bands. So I hope that answers your question, Alan.
Oh, sounds promising. I'll tell you what, I'm quite looking forward to this week.
Why? What's happening?
Because I've downloaded the Talk Radio app, and I'm going to be listening all the week.
Okay, that's it. Alan is a regular caller to this show.
But an irregular
actually
listener.
Going to be listening to this show. Who'da thunk it? We almost reached a point in that conversation, and I'm damned if I could. Why are you sniffing your jumper?
Just making sure it's clean. I'm a mother. You can never be sure.
I tell you what, we're going to have. If you want to join in, dear listener, you know how it works. 0344 499 1000. I'm going to be a professional host. We're going to have the adverts early to welcome our guests, and we're going to plug another radio station. Just don't tell my boss. This is Talk Radio.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee
on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Hello, dear listener. 0344 499 1000. The Late Night Alternative. I'm Iain Lee. Who are you?
Catherine Boyle.
Now we're going to do something. I'm taking a punt here. The bosses are not. Excuse me. It's not your turn yet, Jerry. Calm down. What's going on? What's
long lost family, innit?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. You see, where are your people from?
Mayo.
I'm from Sligo. You see, but you know how the Boyles and the old Boyles. Do you know how it happens?
No, go on.
Because you took the soup.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, because what happened was in the time of the famine, there was the soup kitchens, so to anglicise the names, like the hardcore Gaelic names, they offered them soup if they anglicised your name and dropped the O's and the Max, so you took the soup. Yeah.
So your family are sellouts?
I mean, we knew that already, didn't we?
Is that true? You get some soup if you anglicise.
Well,
that's
a long time ago.
No, not now. They're still doing it.
Because I knew an O'Boyle, a friend of mine, but I just thought she was being fancy. I didn't realise
No.
it was my
She
fault.
held out.
That's how it happens. Yeah,
She held out.
She held out.
We've got Jenn and Gerry here, who, the reason you're here is because you do another radio station.
Yeah.
And this is a weird one. And when I asked you to come on, you kind of said, "Are we allowed to come on and plug our
Radio
radio
Inception.
Listen, if you were James O'Brien from LBC, I think we'd have
issues.
I think we'd have trouble getting away with that one, to be honest. But your station is brilliant. It's who wants to tell us what it is first of all?
Do you want to... You start, Gerry.
Right. Jen is the brains behind. Jen is the brains behind. Jen runs the station.
Oh.
But how it happened was Jen had. Well, first of all, the Boogaloo pub, which is our pub.
That's in North London in Highgate. I used to live around there, Southwood Lane. I used to drive past that a lot.
So, like, my history's in pubs and bars and bands, right? So I used to own a bar called Filthy McNasty's years ago, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the Boogaloo then for the last 17 years. And so our history kind of like ties us in with bands like Pogues, the Libertines, Joe Strummer, lots and lots of people. So we have a lot of heritage over the years, you know?
Yeah.
Which is lucky in a way for us. But Jen then was looking at doing some radio, and she did some online radio, and we've been watching the online radio, and it's starting to create some of a buzz, you know?
Yeah.
And
I'm just getting your website up. I'm not.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So we set it up, and so Jen said she wanted to do something, and she looked at other stations, and one day we were chatting, and we kind of roughly said, let's do it ourselves.
Yeah, we just kind of made it up, didn't we?
So this is a pub, and it's by Highgate Station, which is in North London, because we're a national station, so we can try and be as specific as we can. And I used to live near there, but I don't really go into pubs. But I've been in there a few times. I'm sure I saw Chrissie Hind playing in there.
Yeah,
once.
she rocked up one Sunday, didn't she?
She played there 3 times. Yeah.
I think I was there for one of those.
Yeah, she played there loads. Well, lots of people have.
Yeah,
lots of bands have done secret gigs there. Because over the years, it was kind of like it's become a place where people just turn up and things could happen. Like Chris Martin did at Coldplay.
Wow.
Yeah, tons. Wayne Kramer at MC5.
Glenn
Matlock. Tons and tons and tons and tons.
Hang on a minute, we've had Wayne on the show. Love a bit of Wayne Kramer. Yeah. Did he came and did a little gig there?
He came as to guest with a guy that was in from Memphis who I can't remember now.
Wow.
A long time ago. Bright Eyes did 2 shows there. Conor Oberst. And then you have tons of people drinking there, you know. So we've had Jack White, we've had like
Simon Pegg was a regular there for a while. Nick Frost.
Simon Pegg, Ryan Adams, been in. All those guys, and you've had Phil Daniels.
Why is it
Johnny Vegas? Tons and tons.
We'll get onto the radio in a minute. That's what you're in for, is the radio. But this is it. Why do so many celebs, let's call them that, come and have a drink there? What is it about? Because it's not a particularly central location.
No, I don't. The thing about it is, I suppose that's why we're doing the radio, is that I don't think. So a lot of those people we mentioned there, they're not really celebs. They're well-known people. They might be very famous people, but they're not celebs.
You're right.
They're
in the modern sense.
Yeah,
of the word.
they're very much characters, and they're
talent. They're
talented
artists.
people. Yeah, they're artists. Yeah, and I think what I started in Filthies and what followed through with the Boogaloo is, in Filthies we developed what we call a literary salon. Oh. So you'd have a lot of writers hanging out, you know.
Yeah.
So we had writers doing readings twice a week in Filthies. So we did shows with from James Elroy to who wrote L.A. Confidential, to Ken Kesey, who wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 3 times actually with him.
What was he like?
Amazing guy.
Incredible.
Yeah. Him and Ken Babs. Ken Babs was the guy, his sidekick on the Magic Bus, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever read Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test?
I think I started it. I never quite finished it.
Yeah, it's at the beginning of the Summer of Love in the 60s where that whole thing exploded. This was like the first big house movement. And he was a pillhead, he was into acid and all that. He was dropped out of college and he was hanging out in Haight-Ashbury, and he developed this scene. And he was on the bus with these guys, and they had this crazy bus. They were merry pranksters, and they dropped acid, and people jumped on the bus and took acid with them. Then they did shows and whatever. Then the book became a huge hit and all that. He lived as a recluse in Portland, Oregon for a long, long time after that. But he was an amazing guy.
But then how would you get someone like that, and Ken Kesey and James, how would you get them Where was Filthy? Was that in Kilburn? That wasn't.
No,
Kilburn,
that was in
it?
Islington.
Islington.
At the Angel. Yeah.
How would you get them? Would you like phone up and try and book them?
Well,
or-
no, we had to book them. Yeah. We've been booking people like that for years.
Yeah.
I did that with Richard Thomas, as a concert promoter. The two of us joined up 25 years ago to do literary shows, and we basically rang up Pat McCabe, who wrote The Butcher Boy.
Yeah.
I heard he was living in Kilburn, and basically I met a guy in the pub who knew someone who knew him, and then I got him to do the first show, and then went to all the publishers, and they didn't want anything to do with us at the time. They said they didn't really trust the idea of writers coming doing readings in pubs, you know. So I said, we'd done McCabe, and we're about to get someone else. We got, I forget who the next one was, Howard Marks, Mr. Nice.
Yeah, of course.
And we launched Howard.
Lovely
And
Howard.
His publisher was Jeff Mulligan, so I knew Jeff, and then that's how that happened, and then publishers then started bringing writers to us.
Right, once they saw it
So
was
it
working.
snowballed. So we have a long history of that. So then when we came to the Boogaloo, it was more of that. And, you know, Shane McGowan was an old friend of mine, and he was living there. And Pete Doherty's a poet as well. And so you had a lot of writers and poets around. So a lot of those people we talked about there, they're artists. They're definitely artists. They were there for more than... It wasn't a celeb thing that they wanted to have their picture taken, because we wouldn't have that. But it's very much an arty thing. So the radio is steeped in that. And that's... So Jen was saying one day about her frustration about some of the jobs in the online radio sector, and we just said, well, why don't we just make our own
So
station?
Jen, how did you get involved with Gerry, and how did the idea of a radio station come up? And honestly, dear listener, this is an amazing radio station. They wouldn't be here otherwise. We're going to Boogaloo. Theboogaloo.co.uk. Is that the place to go?
The website for the radio station is boogalooradio.com.
Boogalooradio.com.
And if you're on laptop or desktop, you can watch the studio live as well, which is quite
Luke
cool.
is watching Alan McGee a little bit.
Yeah,
earlier. They have some amazing people. We're going to go tell you who they have on there in a bit. But go on. So how did you get involved?
So like Gerry was saying, I live very close to the pub, and I was working there, and I was, before that, working in Soho in advertising, but always wanted to get into presenting, and then gave it a punt, and did work in online radio for a little bit, and I was just really excited about this thing that you could do, and anyone around the world could tune in. It's
How
like
long ago was this? You kind of got into
3 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
That was less. Yeah.
Less than 2 years,
Yeah,
2.5 years ago, yeah, where I was still working in radio, and then then talking to Gerry with the history of the pub and stuff like that, we kind of put our heads together and thought, you know, if we had our own online radio station, then it would be quite magical, with all these names and the history and all the rest of it. So I think at the moment we have all this history, like you've been listening to Gerry talk about, you know, Filthies and all the artists associated with that, and then thinking about the future as well, the future sound of London, the indie scene, the alternative scene, the online radio scene. And how does that kind of...
But so how the basics, right? Because we do this show, and this is all set up for us, right? And we, Catherine and I podcast and stuff, and you know, right? Technology now is amazing. You can go anywhere and broadcast from a laptop if you want. I've been to your place; it's a proper setup. The floor is wonky.
Yes.
Apart from that, though, the
yeah.
floor's at an angle, and it's very. When I was on there with Luke Haynes, he has it very cleverly set up. So he's at the top of the slope on a big chair,
Beautiful,
and you're kind of like just sat down in a very low chair, sloping backwards.
You were nearly halfway down Archway Road by the end of the show.
Incredible scenes.
Yeah.
The things we do for Luke. But so how did you go about converting that shed into a studio?
It's evolved, hasn't it?
That was the bin shed.
It was the bin shed.
Yeah, was it really?
Yeah, that was full of bins. Yeah. So when we started the radio, Jen just set it up on the laptop.
Yeah,
So
it's every month I'd say like something's added to it, something's been taken away.
That was a bin shed, and then we turned into a little lounge called
I can't remember what it's
True Romance. Called
Alabama's.
Alabama's.
It was called Alabama's.
Which I loved, as my idea. And then the radio was evolving. So the radio was starting to evolve off the laptop. We needed more space. So I reluctantly let the radio start in Alabama's in a...
It's quite an emotional
It was emotional.
departure from Alabama.
It was in a
cupboard for a
cupboard.
long time.
So we made a cupboard, and we used to put the radio away every night. Yeah. So it's a big cupboard, like the size
We had
of that.
we had a 4-channel mixer, which I thought was the most high-tech thing I've ever seen in my life. And we packed it down every night and unpacked it again when we had people
hindsight was
in.
ridiculous.
And who did were you doing the first show?
Yeah, so originally we did. So before Alabama's, I just did a radio show in the pub, just on a USB mic on my laptop.
Yeah. While the pub was open.
Yeah. And then.
So it had all the pub noise in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, we got that on the radio now. Yeah.
So then, so that was like the first bit, and then it moved to the cupboard and the bin shed, and then, and then gradually. I mean, we got a ceiling last year. That was exciting.
Well, yeah. Well, then I let Alabama's idea go, and then we turned in the whole room into the radio station. Mm-hmm. But that used to hold like 6 bins. Yeah. Like big bins, skip bins. So we just had to get rid of all that.
Now I see why the floor was wonky, so you could roll them out, roll them in
again.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she used to roll out lazy
guests.
guests.
Yes.
Like
Genuinely.
How did you get Luke? I love Luke Haynes. We love Luke Haynes on this show. Luke is probably listening to this show, stealing ideas from it, because that's what he does. Anything he's done on your radio station, he's nicked from me. Luke was supposed to come in one night and be the house band and play theme tunes for all of the callers. And then what happened?
Baby.
Had a baby.
Ruined it.
How rude.
So selfish.
Well,
how did you get Haynes involved?
So he was a guest on Bernard Butler's show.
Right.
Bernard Butler used to be in Suede, producer, blah, blah.
Come on, mate, do we need to say that? Yeah, everyone knows Bernard Butler, don't they?
Well, he does a show called BB and the King with his mate Mark Kingston. Every Friday, 3 till 5, and that's really popular. And Luke was a guest on Bernard's show, and Luke loved it, and so we offered him a show, and he now plays the cowbell on every single show. So if you want to listen to that, that's every Tuesday, 1 till 2 till 4.
Who was the first name presenter that you had? Was it Bernard Butler?
I think
Bernard, probably. It was.
And what was the conversation to get him?
Bernard was. I know Bernard for years. Come into the pub, so just emailed Bernard asking if he'd be interested. And he came and he chatted us, and very thankfully he jumped on board. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've had people like Dave Robinson who did Stiff Records. He came on board. So the next after that was Shane. Shane
McGowan did it.
Shane did.
Wow.
We did a show with Shane, which is a genius show. It's on Mixcloud. It's on our Mixcloud, and we're going to do more with him. So it was
brilliant.
Yeah. So it was him choosing his favourite music.
Yeah.
So and talking about everything. So it was like having a drink with him, because it was a
stream of consciousness.
2 hour conversation about something that happened when he heard this song, and then went on to something else, and there's stuff in it about where he met the Blessed Virgin in it, and there's different things, different stories went through the whole show, you know.
And this is all coming from a bin shed at the back of your pub.
Yeah, but you don't
it's
need
incredible.
it. But that's, you see, the thing about radio, we don't know anything about radio.
No,
we know nothing about it. You know, we just made it up.
Yeah.
So we're very naive, really. You know, because
I think that's the best way to be.
Well, we need to be. We need to be very quite mad to do this,
because
we've set it up ourselves. We don't have any sponsorship. We will do one day, but right now we don't. We're building the content and building the profile, and what we do have is great content. We know it. And the thing about pubs are communities. It's, you know, as everyone knows, and you know, you live and die in pubs, and you meet people and you fall in love, and things go through life, and they always come back to the pub, and you know, it's a community. So we are developing, and what we've talked about and what we're trying to do with this is not worry about learning how other radio stations work, but running the radio station like we'd run the pub. So
perfect.
We're creating like on the shows, in between shows, there's little
like ident
drops, yeah. And it's basically, Jenn interviewed me going back like all over the years, stories about who got barred, what happened when McGann took in the beer order, stuff like that, you know. And you just go through loads and loads of anecdotes, like 50 anecdotes, and they're cut in between shows. So some guy's driving a car in New Jersey, and he's listening to Boogaloo Radio. He's under no illusion that's a pub. And then you. I didn't know that. I thought we were allowed to curse in here.
We're not Boogaloo, right? You can't effing Jeff here. I've got a little magic. You can't curse here.
You can Jeff, but you can't F.
Sorry about that.
Yes, that's all right. Don't worry. I've got a little magic button. Don't do it too often, because it stops working after a while.
No, I won't do it.
That's all right. Don't worry.
I think everyone's like us. But it was. So, like, you realise we're trying to create a local so that people who listen in become regulars.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like...
But Shane MacGowan doing a 2-hour show where he plays his favourite records and talks about, when this and this and this, that is the kind of stuff that you would expect, Six Music, a big station.
That's Hunter S. Thompson stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
It's a different league of madness.
Exactly. But you would expect that they would be all over that. But the fact that it's, I don't say hidden away.
Well, the thing about Six Music and these guys is David Soul does a show for us every Sunday. I was
going to get onto that.
Right? And, they're Shane and David Soul, and these guys are mavericks. Alan McGee, they're mavericks.
Yeah.
They're mavericks. These are people who created amazing work. So David Soul was like Bieber in his time.
Yeah.
It's huge, right? Shane is probably the greatest living poet alive right now, an Irish poet, McGee... McGee's signed some of the best bands ever.
Oh, God, he changed music history.
John Leckie's starting next month, and he produced Benz, he produced George Harrison, My Sweet Lord, Muse, and Two Stone Roses.
Yeah.
So,
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad. And I think I read a load of other stuff he did too. He's done some amazing stuff, right? So these guys are all mavericks, So they're not exactly Radio 6 friendly, maybe. I don't know. But maybe Radio 6 don't know how to deal with them,
They'd cack their pants, wouldn't they?
I think they would,
I think I know the answer to this, Jen, but why do they do it? Why does John Leckie, why does Alan McGee, when you say, come and do a radio show, they go, yeah, all right. Because I'm guessing no one's getting rich out of this.
No.
Why do you think that you've got an amazing roster?
It's punk, isn't it? It's kind of guerrilla. I think a lot of them do it because these people are successful because they never really did what they became known for the money, really.
Yeah.
It was more to be part of something, to create a movement, and I think this reminds them of that more than if they were to do maybe a more commercial radio station or some brand pays them whatever to do whatever. Yeah, that's the kind of feedback I get from them, that they love. I mean, they've got total freedom over their playlist.
Yeah.
We don't have any say in what they play. We've got no say in what they say, which is
Has anyone ever gone too far and you've gone, maybe just reel that in?
Some un-radio friendly versions of certain hip-hop tracks at 9 o'clock in the morning, I was a bit sceptical about. But apart from that, no. I mean, and also...
You've had Run DMC in.
Yeah, we had Daryl, the DMC of Run DMC, on...
It's insane. We've got Matthew Wright. You know what I mean?
But we've got a fridge there. They can have their own. They can drink on air.
They get drunk on air. It's great. It's sort of.
Are we allowed to mention our sponsor? No. Oh yeah, Asahi. Yeah.
Thanks Asahi for all of it.
Yeah.
You keep us happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a very loose format, and I think they're attracted to it because I don't think rock and roll exists that much anymore.
No.
Everything's like orchestrated or very contrived. It's sort of like forced punk, which isn't punk. So I think we might be the only thing that exists at the moment in the music industry.
50s American radio, that's how kind of it all started, when the radio presenters had a lot of sway, and especially those old first rock and roll acts and the country acts. So they would go to meet, the presenter would choose who was going to be on air, Hank Williams or Elvis or whoever, right, and come to see them. Before production became a big part of radio, so it's going back to that. So like we're saying, it's all about trust. This whole thing is like trust. It's like Uber for radio with us, because the people who listen in will just keep coming back. They'll tell their friends. Well, they'll trust us.
No way. Everything is so safe. I remember when XFM started. Man alive, when XFM first started.
I remember that.
20 years ago, probably even longer. What a station, because they didn't know what they were doing.
No.
And of course...
It was great.
Oh, it was incredible. You turn on, you didn't know... I did a couple of shifts there, but you turn on, you didn't know what you're going to get. Just all this music, and a lot of it was awful, but then there'll be something amazing. But it was great that awful music, as one perceived it, could get played. Anything went... And then, of course, they realised that they weren't getting an audience, and so they kind of became capital rock.
Yeah.
And started playing Coldplay.
And then cue music being chosen through focus group and by a computer. And
XFM did that thing once. It was just after I left, where it was big in America for a bit, and then they realised it didn't work, where they would have a breakfast show and they would have a drive time show, but the daytime was automated.
Yeah.
They got rid of presenters. Tony Blackburn, right? I love Tony Blackburn, and he did a brilliant tweet the other day. Whatever you may think of him, he said, when we did pirate radio, we didn't go out and sit on a ship for 3 months to play the same 300 songs on rotation. We went out there to be personalities and to play whatever music we wanted to play and excite people about music.
Yeah.
And which is kind of the vibe.
It's exactly the same vibe. And one of those guys who did Radio Luxembourg first. There's one of those guys is after starting an online station. He was a contemporary of Tony Blackburn.
Yeah.
So come back to me in a second. But yeah, so what happened was, there's a few of them in London, but there's a couple in New York that are inspiring. There's a scene in New York at online stations. There's one called Lot Radio where they've dropped a shipping container in a disused parking lot, and I find them very inspiring because these guys are gorillas.
Who is this? I'm going to jot because I love.
It's called the Lot Radio, LOT. Yeah, a lot is in parking.
Yeah.
So basically,
and you can go and sit and hang out.
Yeah. So
we're big friends of I always get it wrong, WFMU in New York, which again is another kind of.
I don't know. I must check them out. I'm there on Friday. Yeah.
It's great, and just their shows are insane, man. They've got everything, and I can't remember the name of our friend from there. It will come to me in a minute. Oh, Amanda Nazario.
Yeah.
She just plays whatever she wants to play.
Is it music and talk? Yeah.
Music and talk, primarily music.
Her show's called The Nazario Scenario.
Yeah, and she is. The show is. I've never heard anything like it. You know,
check it out.
There's a lot of that in New York.
Yeah, so these guys dropped a shipping container in a parking lot, a disused parking lot, and they half the shipping container is radio. There's no seats. You thought we were bad. They've got no seats at all, right? Right. They've no seats. Everyone stands up, and the other half is a coffee dock. So they sell coffee and croissants out the window, right? And across the road is a church called San Damiano's Mission, and they're friends of mine. And the monks, they're Franciscan monks. The monks did a deal with the radio station that they'd give them free. They'd give them the water, and they'll give them the electricity, and the monks get coffee and croissants for life.
Wonderful.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how I first met them was I was in the station one day. I was sitting outside having a coffee because they have a little, it's like a beer garden, just seats hanging around outside.
I've got a live video stream of them now. They're screening Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for some reason.
I saw this monk inside the station, inside the porta cabin, So he came out and I said, are you a real priest, man? He goes, yeah. It's his name. I said, would you mind saying a mass for me, So I gave him a few quid and he said, come over, right? So I was just checking. So we went over to the church and started chatting. They became great. He'd become a great friend of mine, Father Nick. And they're all monks and they love the radio. They love the guerrilla style of what they've done. So what these guys have done now is they've created a whole community there. But Lot Radio is big. It's big in New York. It's very well known. But not alone that, there's Newtown Radio. There's like what's the other one, Jen?
Radio Free Brooklyn.
Radio Free Brooklyn, yeah. And there's a ton of them whapping up everywhere, right? And there's another one I saw today in Jersey called Breakthrough Radio. So it's a movement. It's like punk.
Yeah. It's a scene, isn't it?
People are doing their own thing. They're breaking out there. When broadband and Wi-Fi gets more advanced, probably Wi-Fi 7 or something, when you can just get it in the car, anything you want in the car, that's when I think it'll all change. And then people will pick up a lot more of these stations in the cars. And most people listen to the radio in the car or at work, don't they,
I'm watching thelotradio.com if you want to go and have a look.
Yeah.
I tell you, let's have a quick break. Then you stick around for a little bit longer, and we'll give the station a proper plug. I want to find out about David Soul. Yeah. This is 0344 499 1000. This is Iain, Lee, and Catherine Boyle. We've got Jenn and Gerry from Boogaloo Radio. This is the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, OK, we're back on the air, so watch your language. I'm watching Indiscretions. We're talking to Jenn and Gerry about Boogaloo Radio. The website, I've got it up here, I've got all these different windows now, is boogalooradio.com. When is it live? How long, at what time of the day is it live?
It's 24/7,
right.
So we broadcast all week, all day, all night, which is quite good because we have quite a big US audience and Japanese audience, so obviously when they tune in, like it could be 10 o'clock in the morning. But live people in the studio, primarily during the day. And we've got over 75 presenters, so it's a lot of shows, a lot of people.
Tell me about David Soul, because I lived in Highgate for a long time, and I was so excited when I found out David Soul lived there. once you know he lives there, you can't stop seeing him. He was everywhere. Just you get bored of seeing David Soul because he was everywhere. I love him. And that album, Playing to an Audience of One, come on, man, that is a classic. Silver Lady and Don't Give Up on Us, baby. They're classic songs.
He's a great guy, David.
And you're right. He was not long into, but he was a huge pop star.
Huge star.
Huge pop star for a while. Obviously, with all the acting and
we did a crossover. There's a lot more to David than people know, you know, because I've known him about 20 years, and I met him in Filthies, and we've been friends ever since. He comes regularly. He's an amazing supporter, and he's a very creative guy. Always wants to get involved.
Yeah,
and
good.
He's very open to new ideas all the time. Wants to keep doing new stuff, you know. But David, before he was, first of all, he was a singer.
Yeah. He wore a balaclava, didn't he?
He wore a balaclava, the masked man.
He wanted to be taken for his voice, not his
music.
looks.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it.
He did a whole radio show, but like based on the Masked Man. So that's on our Mixcloud if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he did that period. It was in the Greenwich Village period, and same time as Dylan was there.
Yeah, God.
But before and around that time, he actually was the president of the Young Democrats, and he campaigned for John Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy. And he was in the plaza the night that Bobby Kennedy was killed.
No.
Yeah. So he's a very political person.
Yeah.
You know? And he's a huge intellect, very smart guy, you know. And then he had a pop career, and then he had an acting career, which was amazing, huge.
Salem's Lot. I mean, boy, what a movie.
Starsky and Hutch, of course, and all that. So he had this huge career, but there's a lot of depth to David that probably people aren't aware about in the political side and all. He also was involved in football. He was a footballer as well. And he's working on a project where he's restoring Ernest Hemingway's car in Cuba at the moment.
Beautiful.
And he's found his car. It's an old Ford. And they're restoring it in Cuba.
Are they allowed to bring in parts from outside anymore, or are they still...
No, actually, that law's changed now because they did have problems because they were bringing in parts, and I think there was a problem with it. But I think they may be able to do that now.
Yeah, because Obama kind of lifted the boycott.
Yeah, Obama lifted it, yeah.
Because I remember going to Cuba, what was it? Well, before that.
Yeah.
And they were restoring cars using glue made out of sugar.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah, incredible.
So he's doing that?
Yeah, and he's making a documentary on it. And it's Ernest Hemingway's car from the period he lived in Cuba.
Beautiful.
And they found the original car, and they're getting parts in. So... no, he's huge. So, like, you know, we just said to David, you know, do you want to get involved in the radio? And he listened to it and checked it out. And, of course, you know, he made his decision. And we're so happy he came on board, you know.
Yeah, and he co-hosts it with a guitarist called Hugh Burns, who was the guitarist for George Michael for a long time. And he's the guy who does Careless Whisper. So that's him. So that's Hugh.
Really?
Scottish Hugh, yeah. So it's Hugh
and
David. And it's called Musique Sans Frontières. Yeah. Music Without Borders, and it's every Sunday to 1 till 2.
Yeah.
So if you want to tune into that, boogalooradio.com.
You told me there was going to be an app. Did you tell me there was going to be an app?
There is an app.
Is there an app?
Is an app.
I couldn't find. I've just gone to Android after I've had enough of iPhone rubbish.
Yeah.
Is it on Android?
It's on Android as well. If you search Boogaloo Radio in the what's it called, the Play Store.
The Play Store,
not the App Store.
Just had a message from our boss. Of course, I'm listening. Sorry, Denny. We'll kick him out soon, and we'll talk about Brexit.
We don't know how they got in.
So Boogaloo Radio on the. I'm going to because I looked and I couldn't Boogaloo Radio.
If you can't find it, can you pretend you found it? Just for the sake of sounding professional.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow.
I don't... OK. Well, that's great.
It's free to download if you find it. But yeah, so if you download the app, then I guess you just hit play and you're good to go.
And listeners, and this is one of the... We're so amazed. We've got quite a few listeners in the States. We've got a couple of listeners in Japan. Maybe we'll open up Skype again tonight and see if we can tease our Japanese listeners to call in. But, you know, we've been doing this for years and years and years. I started when it was you just broadcast to wherever your transmitter went. It blows our mind that we've got people listening in California and New York and all over the States.
Some people with their breakfast show.
Yeah.
We've got two in Vatican City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Two in the Vatican.
And I'm assuming, do they get in touch, do they, and say...
Well, the Vatican hasn't got in touch yet. But,
The Vatican hasn't got in touch, but...
There are two in the Vatican. It came up on the map. Yeah,
I love those maps. They're so good.
They come into Guam. What I find very interesting is strange places in like the islands, the Caribbean and that's odd places,
And they must just be surfing around and go, oh, this...
or it's people on holiday.
People on holiday. Or also you got the names on this. You got a Suede fan.
Well,
you go,
Bernard Butler.
Doing it.
Bernard Butler has his South Korean fan base, and they send him presents every month. And they FedEx it to arrive during the hours of 3 and 5 p.m. GMT on a Friday. Packages from South Korea, and and they write letters, and they run competitions in the fan group to write the letter to Bernard, and it's always like Bernard Butler, 312 Archway Road, Boogaloo Radio. It's like Harry Potter, like the boy under the stairs.
Lovely.
And we currently have a vegan birthday cake for Mark, Bernard's co-host, waiting at the pub for him to collect, because we made a joke about him being a vegan, and it was his birthday, and they take it very seriously.
Graham's listening. I've downloaded the Boogaloo app. Well done finding it, Graham. I'll be checking them out. Thanks for getting these guys in. I'm enjoying it. So that is... you must, Jen... let's forget him for a second. You're the brains behind this. You're the brains behind
Professional
this.
trolley lady.
You must be blown away at the success in, 2 years? 2.5 years?
I always compare it. Well, I don't have kids, but I can only imagine having a kid where you're like, I can't believe how cool it is. I'm not cool. I don't really know much about radio or music, and I've given birth to this thing that's so cool. And people say to us all the time, like, wow, it's so amazing. And I'm like, I'm not even humble. I'm like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. I can't believe it exists.
This is why I wanted to get you in. And I know we talked about ages and ages ago, and I'm slack, and I asked you, and then I didn't follow it up, and I'm really sorry about that. But I was so, first of all, we love Luke Haynes. Right? Luke Haynes is a god in our eyes. But when I came in, I was so impressed with the whole... just the vibe of it, the fact that it is kind of Indian homebrew, and you've got this amazing list of people coming in to do shows, and it is that punk, the vibe of just we'll just do it, we'll make it work, and we'll do what we want to do, and if people like it, that's great, and if people don't like it, well then still great, I
think it's a good blend of like the fact that I'm not from a musical background or anything like that. And then you've got this kind of rock and roll crazy pirate ship called the Boogaloo. So, like, I guess if I had known anything about the indie scene or the punk scene or anything about the music scene, then maybe I would have some preconceptions of what I want it to be, or like maybe more ego, or
Well,
I'd
you
be
might
more
have been
biased.
intimidated out of doing it.
I'd be biased towards, certain presenters, but I'd be intimidated knowing full well who these people are. I mean, these people are like, oh, you don't know that I produced this thing? And I'm like, no.
No, but that's cool, because you're trying to bring people, you're trying to educate the listener as well as attracting people who already know what's going on. So, if you're on a bit of a voyage of discovery as well, it's perfect.
And every day is so exciting for me, because I think also, like, you get presenters like Alan McGee and stuff, they really underestimate how interesting they are, because they've said it 1,000 times, they've written books, they've done interviews, they talk about it all the time, but to the uneducated ear, or someone that doesn't know everything, or the fan bases and stuff, I can kind of encourage that out of them.
But someone like Alan McGee really thinks, people don't want to hear
Well, he used to, and then his show called Riots, Raves and Running a Label, which he did actually earlier this evening, 6 till 8, every Monday. He gets in all his mates from the music industry, and afterwards he's always like, oh, I forget how much history we've got, and then he gets, because all our shows are up on Mixcloud, he gets, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of downloads, and he's always really surprised by it.
Isn't that funny?
But it encourages him, I think, to do more.
Jerry, who's the most famous person you had to bar? You mentioned barring earlier on, and that lodged in the back of my head. I can't let you go without asking you that question.
I didn't let a guy from Coldplay in one night, but I can't remember which one, but it wasn't Chris Martin.
Okay. What was he a bit drunk, being a pain?
Or
just you didn't like Coldplay?
He said, I don't like Coldplay. But no, in fairness to Coldplay, in fairness to Chris Martin, I didn't like Coldplay, no. But I learned to like them, because he actually is a decent guy, Chris Martin, because there was a guy when we came to the pub, Coldplay were becoming big. I think they actually were big. And they had been drinking there before we came there. And there was an old guy at the bar who used to drink there every night, And when we took over, Coldplay had become big, they'd moved on, and this guy was always on with Coldplay, and Chris, amazing they were, you know. And I wasn't a fan of their music, you know, a bit like Snow Patrol kind of vibe, you know. Yeah. So I wasn't really into that. But anyways, years later, right, the old guy went into hospital and he died. And his wife was in a nursing home, and the wife died in the same nursing home a couple of days later.
Wow.
Right? And they didn't have any bread. So we, went to a friend of mine's an undertaker, you know, said, look, we'll underwrite this, you know. So we buried the two of them. So the pub did, yeah. And we held a wake for them on the night of the cremations. And I emailed Simon Pegg. I asked Simon, could he help us out with... could he do anything for us, you know, with, maybe ask Chris Martin for a guitar to raffle or something, or himself as well, and he could do, you know. And he came back right away within an hour, you know, and he was a gentleman. And he got Chris to turn up, and the night of the wake, they turned up and they did a gig.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
we covered the cost that night.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's classy.
He was very classy. So
you got to respect that.
Total respect for him. He was a gentleman, you know. So, but I didn't particularly like the band before that. But no, he's a lovely guy. But I think one of the guys from the band turned up one time and he might have used his name or something to try and get in. He didn't get in. But these things happen. You know?
These things happen.
Get in now.
You're getting new listeners. Lane has just said you just found a new customer. Love your approach. Nicholas says I'm in Bangkok and just downloaded the app.
Wow.
So that should show up on your map.
Yeah, wicked.
We haven't got one in Thailand, have we?
There we go, we have now.
You got it now. Yeah. BoogalooRadio.com is the place. I'm not on Twitter at the moment, but you're on Twitter as well.
So someone has Boogaloo Radio as a Twitter handle, so we're Boogaloo_radio. It's really annoying. But
who are these losers?
I don't know.
What are they doing with it?
Don't know.
Nothing nearly as cool.
Let's
but on Instagram it's Boogaloo Radio, and if you want to send us an email, it's hello@boogalooradio.com, and we'll endeavour to reply.
And it is a joy. It's one of those things where if you don't like the person who's on, we'll stick around because you'll probably like the next person.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the song they're playing, then you might like the next one. If you don't like two in a row, you'll probably love the third one. It's the joy of discovering new stuff and being challenged a bit, which is, you know, is kind of, we try and take a little bit of that philosophy and put it into this rubbish. But, you know, I don't listen to music radio now. Bit of Six, because I don't want to hear the same songs all over the place, you know, just repeated again.
It's like Boogaloo Radio in the same way that Six music is very educational musically.
Yeah.
Like, as much as Luke Haynes is, you know, he's completely bonkers and he brings his cowbell in and sings over every track.
You've got a real issue with that cowbell. I can
it's
tell.
the hangover that he played it through on New Year's Day that I'm not happy about. But anyway...
let me have a word with his girlfriend for you, because I've got the power there.
Send a letter of complaint. But no, I would say as well with Boogaloo Radio, like, the thing is about it, something ridiculously unexpected is going to happen every single day. And as the person that produces all the shows, like, every single day I'll get to the end of the day and think, well, I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
So that's one of the nice things about, I think, tuning in and just leaving it on all day is something ridiculous is going to happen.
I hope we got you a few new listeners. I'm sure we have. Honestly, I think what you're doing, Jen, is brilliant. I'm so blown away by you know, someone doing something original and creative. You, sir, you're a legend, and you know, well done for giving up. What was it called? What was Armadas? What was the bar called?
Alabamas.
Alabamas.
Well done for getting rid of that. It's Jenn and Gerry from the Boogaloo, the pub, and also BoogalooRadio.com. If you want to go and have a listen, there's loads of stuff there. Have a flick through it, and you'll find something that you like. I guarantee it. We carry on. We'll take your phone calls, dear listener, after the news. 0344 499 1000. This is the Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10 on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Ofcom isn't upheld. Good evening, dear listener. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee. Who are you?
Catherine Boyles, if it's any of your business.
Joined those two a lot, turning away drunk members of Coldplay.
They've made me feel a lot less cool, though. Not that I was very cool to start with.
Yeah, I mean, two very cool people there. There's no denying it. I've never felt cool. And but they were nice guys, and it's nice to see. Listen, Jen was so. Are you sure we can come on and talk about another radio station? I don't think that, we're going Talk Radio is going to lose. Well, we might lose 5 listeners, and that's about 25% of our listenership. Bit windy pops there. I do apologise. That's the way it goes sometimes. Hey, imagine selling pictures of your baby to Hello Magazine. Isn't that weird? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Manchester! Manchester. Let's get some Manchester music. I'm just going to type in YouTube.
Don't be offensive now.
Manchester music, so we can announce our big
yes.
shows that are happening. Big show. Okay. Okay, this is apparently Manchester music. Here it comes. That's right. Oh, I know what we want. That's rubbish. This is what we want. This is exactly what. This is what we want. Ladies and gentlemen, very, very proud to announce.
Oh, yeah.
Get on, get on,
nope.
Get on, get on, get on my groovy train. What's so bad?
Right, that was The Farm, by the way, and they're Scouse. That's very offensive.
All together now! All together! There you go. Let's start again.
In fact, you know who's in the Groovy Train video? Harry Cross from Brookside.
Anyway, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you actually saying? A pair of shoes?
Baby's got a pair of shoes. I don't really know. I'm going to be honest. The only Stone Roses song I could probably sing, if I had to, is 12-Story Love Song from the second album.
Oh.
Which I like the second album. I like the second Stone Roses album. I'm sorry to be controversial. I'm sorry to be controversial, Line 1, but I like the second Stone Roses LP. Great call. Great vibes, great call. Saturday, March the...
Is it the 18th?
I think the 18th.
Let me just double check.
Katarina Boyle and myself are returning to Manchester, to the 3-Minute Theatre, to a very tiny venue. You are welcome to come. You got to buy any ticket. If you go to iainlee.com.
18th of May, man.
You said May?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to iainlee.com/event, Luton is up there, Brighton is up there now, and now, dear listener, Manchester is up there. Here's the thing, 18th of May, that's a long time away. You're thinking, I don't need to buy tickets now. It really helps us if you buy tickets now. Imagine if we sold out, right, by the end of this week. It's a small venue. Could happen. Dreams can come true. Look at me, babe, I'm into you. You know you got to hold on. You know you got to be strong. How much do you want David Soul on this show? I mean,
so much.
Really, email him.
All right. davidsoul@hotmail.com. He's a Hotmail generation, isn't he? Maybe even Jeeves.
Yeah, Jeeves isn't an email service.
Oh, how come?
Here's the thing. If we sold out at the end of this week, then we'd book in a show. We'd book in either a matinee or we'd book in a show for the Sunday. That's what we do, right? If we get to, beginning of May and we haven't sold many tickets, you're thinking I'll buy them on the day before, then we cancel.
Yeah.
Really helps us, guys. If you buy... Hang on a minute.
Do subliminals on them. Do you like this? Listen.
Go on.
We're coming to Manchester. Will you come see us, please? We'll come up. No, so it goes, mate.
I've got one. Well, that's disappointing. There's no... Hang on. Let's just play a proper Manchester. Proper Manchester. Proper Manchester is a proper Manchester band.
My team and
That's an advert. You're not
can
paid to
jog
advertise
along.
here. For crying out loud. Okay, here we go. Proper Manchester. Yes.
What? No.
Manchester.
Actual no. Stop.
It's just the Manchester. Nutschester, more like. Saw you walking down the street. You're so special. Saw you walking down the street. You're special. Everybody's down my face. So here we go. You've got to choose. You should be so cool in Manchester. Up into the avenue. You're gonna go now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I said, get up. Oh, bollocks. I once was late for work at B-Jams because I fell asleep to the CD single of this. 4 different remixes, guys.
You still don't know the words.
No. Here we go. I said, get...
I mean...
Special. Baby's got a pair of shoes. Special. In Manchester. Get on my groovy train.
And go to Manchester, not Liverpool.
Get on my groovy train.
Shouldn't be a train, it should be a tram.
All right.
I mean...
You know what the farm's first big...
All together now.
No. First big song was this. Remember this? Yes.
Do you remember it? Is more the point.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Blimey.
Do you remember this?
Nope.
That bass sounds like farts. Listen to the bass. It sounds like farts.
I think it might be farts. Are you farting?
You know this song. Sorry, hang on a minute. Sorry. Say that again.
What?
Are you farting?
Are you farting?
You asking? There we go. You know this. Big hit for the farm. Big hit. Their first big hit. You know this song? I guarantee you, I bet you £100.
I haven't got £100.
You'll be able to sing along with this. That's how confident I am.
Go on then.
Here we go.
Spin it.
I love the Manchester scene so much.
It's not.
I don't know if this is actually right. Here we go. Here it comes. 3, 4.
Get up, not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone.
Yeah.
Get up, not your stepping stone, not your baby. Get up, not your stepping stone, not your stepping stone. Get up, not your stepping stone on
ecstasy and weed.
When I first met you, girl, you had
This is bloody awful.
now you're walking around.
That is worse than I.
That is poo.
That was a stinker.
Now,
I tell you, all right.
Bloke from the farm ended up working with my dad in later years. He became a sports journalist.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Go on.
That's all I know. I think he was the trumpet man.
We're going to play the Stepping Stone cover game. who is now doing this version of Stepping Stone, originally performed by...
The Monkees.
Incorrect answer!
I mean...
Who's doing this? Who's doing this? This is a great version. It's the Stepping Stone game, guys. Come on, pay attention to me. I'm
trying to find out about the farm.
Who's this?
Is it PJ and Duncan, wasn't it?
PJ and Duncan, correct, yeah. Who directed the video?
I don't care.
Mickey Dolenz.
Oh.
Okay. Right, who is playing... No one's calling in, we're just going to play the Stepping Stone game. It's very, very simple. Who's doing this version? Any ideas?
Daphne and Celeste.
No, you're... I'm not your stepping stone.
Is it Billy Idol?
No, it's not Plastic Punk. It's a real one.
Oh, is it you, Jonathan Rotten?
Sex Pistols. He sounds like a Dalek.
That'll do.
He sounds like a Dalek there. Okay, well, you guys don't want to call him. Screw you. We're just going to play Stepping Stone game, the Stepping Stone game, where I play a version of Stepping Stone, and you have to guess who it is who's done it.
I wish they hadn't.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'd love to invite you along for a lovely little chitty chat with me and Chitty Chat Cat. This is the Chitty Chat Club.
Conversation Corner.
Conversation Corner. And
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
No, that's the wrong answer.
Ah, well. So I spent most of Sunday trying to get a security... This is my life. How boring my life is. I spent most of Sunday in the hail, stood atop a wheelie bin, trying to get a security light to work.
Right.
You know the security lights, the sensors and stuff. And I've got a security light at the house, but the bulb had gone. And I bought a new bulb ages ago. And Sunday Sunday was a lousy day, right? Because I thought I'd lost my wallet on Saturday nights. We did the Weird Science. Thank you to everyone who came on Saturday night to Weird Science. I hope you had a great time. We did. Very, very funny film. Lovely to see some familiar faces. Lovely to see some new faces. I think everyone seemed to have a good time. The film was good. The B movie was great. Dr. Steve Brule. The next one is Bros. That's sold out. Unlucky. And we're hoping in April. We're hoping. I need to try and sort it out. We want to screen The Magic Christian, but have why has my mind gone completely blank to the gentleman's name, the director's name?
His name is Joe Perlman.
No, that's Bros.
Oh,
Joe McGrath.
Joe McGrath.
There we go, two Joes. Hopefully April, we'd love to, and I know that Joe is kind of up for it, we just need to find a date. We want to show The Magic Christian, Ringo Starr and Peter Sellers, and have Joe McGrath come along and do a Q&A, and I'm kind of thinking we hire Jeff to come and film it for us.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be something quite special.
Also, if it's Joe McGrath, who we know of old, we might have to make it a sleepover.
Yeah, could be a late night.
Because he loves a chat.
I'll email Dan tomorrow. I'll write that down in my diary. Email Dan tomorrow and we'll see if we can come up with some dates. So we did that, and it was great, and it was lovely to see everybody. And then me and Kath went out for a little bite to eat afterwards, as we do. We went to is it not Mexican?
Yeah, it is Desperados.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's Texan.
Tex-Mex.
Okay. But we didn't eat much, and we left some food on our plate.
Hasn't it? It's got a very rude toilet.
Yeah.
The toilets are over 18s only.
Toilet, I didn't notice that before. It says, due to the graphic nature of the...
because they've got these kind of Mexican...
I've got a mouthful of sausage.
Dia de los Muertos murals in there with basically women fornicating with half-dead people. And, you know...
I'd be happy with my boys seeing necrophilia.
Skeletons with... penises and stuff.
Well, but that it says that the penis is a bone. Oh, I suppose
no,
so.
it's definitely fleshy on those pictures.
But so we went there, had something to eat. We're trying to lose weight, and
neither of us finished.
Didn't finish. We left food on the plate.
Which
we
I
went
regretted.
home hungry. And today we came in, and the first thing I said to Kath was, "Oh, I could eat that food we left on the plate. I wish we'd saved it for now."
I said, I've thought about it about 4 times. Half a burrito.
But so then Kath drove me home, and then the next day I was on my way to an LA meeting, and I couldn't find my wallet. So I texted Kath, and I think my wallet's in your car. She texted me saying, no, it's not there.
Well. I said, hang on, I'm in bed. I'll go and have a look.
That's mates. Then she texted and said, no, it's not. And I was like, okay. So I pulled over to receive her text. Then I stayed pulled over, and I checked my bank balance, and I saw that. We used it about 11 to pay for the meal. Then I saw at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., and then that morning, like about 4 of them at 10 a.m., purchases on Amazon with that card. So it's like 7 purchases on Amazon at these times. I thought, shit, I've lost it, and the worry was I had quite a lot of money in there because I had money. I'm old-fashioned. It was my son's birthday party. And I, of course, assumed you just paid with everything with cash. I don't know why, but I thought you pay everything with cash. So I bought a load of cash out, and you don't. You swipe cards now. And so I had this money in my wallet. I was oh, no, money's a bit tight at the moment. I was like, this is awful. I got really upset. It's been an emotional week. I got very, very upset, and I phoned up Barclays, and Barclays... But here's the thing, right? So I phoned up and said, I've lost... Can I cancel my card? I've lost my card. And I said, I want to... There's about 7 or 8 purchases on my account that aren't mine. He said, OK, right. He said, right, I can see these. So none of these Amazon ones. He said, no, the last one is the Desperados at 10.58. Everything after that is not me. He said, OK. He said, right, well, do you have you got a relationship with Amazon? I said, well, I buy stuff from them. He said, right, what you need to do is you need to phone Amazon up and you need to see if they'll refund you. I said, no, I don't. I have to phone you up and tell you... and you sort it out. He said, no, phone Amazon. He said, one of 3 things will happen. He said, one of 2 things will happen. He said, either they'll sort it all out and refund you, or what's more likely to happen, this is exactly what he said, what's more likely to happen is they'll just ignore you. And then if that happens, then you phone me back up.
Oh.
And I said, right. And then I said this, because I was peed off now. I said, right, you've just reminded me, I did call Amazon. And he went, all right, what did they say? I said, they just ignored me and said there was nothing they could do. And he said, right, okay.
That is outrageous. So what, he went for it?
Begrudgingly, he went for it. And he said, right, well, these payments are pending. He said, so we can't do anything until they've actually gone out. And I said, how long will it take? 24 hours. And I got a bit pissy with him on the phone. I said, this is outrageous. I was really upset. Didn't go to the NA meeting. I drove home and went and sat and I cried with my cats for an hour. And I was in a dark place, man. Like proper, tipped me over the edge. And I was thinking, I have to go back on meds and I want to die. And I need that money. Oh, God, I'm going to lose the house and all of this. And I'm walking around the house looking places I know, just looking under the beds. There's my wallet. Looking down the back of the chest of drawers in the bedroom, crying, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then I came down and my wallet was on the stereo. It was on the music centre. It was on the hi-fi system. I was like, oh, no. And I'd cancelled my card. I got a bank card for my mum in there and I'd cancelled that. And it turns out those purchases have been done by me, but they've been done by me like in the week.
Right,
but
so it's like an automated thing.
They've only just filtered through, idiots. So to cheer myself up, this is what I did to cheer myself up, was I thought, right, I'm going to seize the day, carpe diem. And I'm going to finally put that light bulb in my security light on my garage. So that when I pull up at night, it's going to light up for me. So I climbed up and it was hailing down quite heavily and I climbed up on the wheelie.
So you're doing electrical work in very wet conditions?
I did think of Rod Hull, yes. But I continued.
There was no one even there to see you light up like a skeleton.
So I got up and I put the light bulb in and then I went and turned the light on and the light came on, right? So it's a sense light and the light came on, right? And it's supposed to come on and stay on for like a minute, I think. 10 minutes later, the bloody thing's still on. It won't go off. So I'm Googling YouTube videos. How do you... And there are sensors underneath. There's a sensor... This one's only got 2 sensors. There's one is for the length of time it stays lit. You can have it for like a minute to 10 minutes. And one is its reaction to light. And you can have it... I didn't really understand that one, actually. So I was up on this wheelie bin in the hail about 12 times trying to get... And then I was reading things about you have to reset the sensor, and to do that you switch it off, on, off, on, off. No. On, you do it very quickly. On, off. Leave off for 5 seconds and turn it on, and that resets the sensor. So I was doing it. I couldn't get the flipping thing to work. My Sunday to cheer me up was trying to get a flipping sensor light. Do you want to... Yeah, you was trying to get a sensor light to work, and I couldn't.
That's totally you, though.
So if anyone... What do you mean?
Tinkering.
If anyone knows how to fix a sensor light, 0344 499 1000, please. That's the phone in. So let's just wait for that. Hey, we totes got a call. This worked. We've got this electrician's phone in. All right, Lawrence, how do I fix the sensor light?
No idea.
Sorry?
Absolutely no idea.
Who is this troll? What the hell? What the hell are you phoning in for? Supposed to be keeping the line... Sam, keep the lines clear for people that tell me how to fix a sensor light.
How dare you?
How dare you? I will talk to you, Lawrence, while we're waiting for the electricians to call in. What can we do for you on this lovely, cold Monday evening?
Well, Ian just wants to say how lovely it is to hear your voice sounding like your old self.
Thank you very much indeed. Faking it. I'm going to be honest, faking it to making it. But no, sometimes you've got to fake it.
You're sounding great, pal.
May God bless you, Lawrence.
Fantastic, yeah. Okay. Used to listen to back in the old days,
the glory days, the LBC days.
Yeah, okay.
The glory days.
In 2005.
Yes, what a year. What a year, 2000 and... Was I doing it in 2005?
Mm-hmm. Summer of 2005.
Prove it. I don't believe you. I do not believe I was doing...
yeah, there's callers. There's this... what's his name? Igor, he called himself, I think. There's this other chap. He had an Asian name, I think. They're regular callers, and there's Tallulah, I think, was it?
Tallulah from the Electric Parade, who used to ride around on a bicycle with a budgie inside a giant beach ball, inflatable beach ball.
Dear, okay.
Oh dear, dearie me, dearie me.
You didn't play any New Order.
No, because he was playing Liverpool music for no apparent reason.
Liverpool. I beg your pardon.
I was playing Manchester. Manchester. Are you coming to the Manchester shows, Lawrence?
I'm afraid not. No.
Why is that?
Just commitments.
Business.
Well,
I can see you live in the London area.
I certainly do.
Well, maybe you should come to one of our London shows.
Oh yeah. When? Where?
Actually, I don't want you coming to our London shows.
Why? Because of the breathing.
Charming.
This guy, I don't like.
He's debonair. I think he's too debonair for our shows.
He's very, very posh. Very. Are you a lord?
Are you Nigel Havers?
Sorry.
It's exactly what Nigel would say.
This is a great Manchester song. Speaking of Manchester, listen to this. This is great.
Don't be afraid of your freedom.
Oh, that's from Manchester.
This is a great song. Manchester had it happening. And this is, I'm free to do what I want any bloody old time. Yeah, Lawrence.
You would.
Lawrence, I said I'm free to do what I want any old time. So, Lawrence, I got a couple of things I'd like you to do. I want you to love me, hold me. I said love me. Lawrence, hold me, 'cause I'm free.
Well, yes, I'm glad to hear it.
We're in.
Those guys were from Bells Hill.
Yeah, Manchester.
Lanarkshire.
All right, Lawrence, listen, if you can't fix a light bulb, then I'm really very confused as to why you're on the air at the moment.
That's a very good question. I'm wondering about myself, actually.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to James. James, can you fix my sensor light, security light sensor, please?
No, I can do. But before that, I'm going to give you a tip on how to fix it. So can I quickly ask you for an inside showbiz tip?
Of course you can. I'd love to give you an inside showbiz. Yes.
1 second. How far inside?
I'm about 6 centimetres.
I think I'm gonna make a baby just so I can sell its pictures to Hello magazine.
No, don't do that.
That's a classy thing to do. My baby, 1 day old. I want it all over the papers. Many thousands of pounds for your baby. Thank you. But at the age of 18, it will prick its finger and fall asleep for 100 years. Don't worry, I want the money now.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
The tip I wanted to ask you is your good mate James O'Brien. He often
beat him in a race once.
What's that?
I beat him in a race, in a 400 metres race. James O'Brien and I had a 400 metres race. I destroyed him.
Okay. So the inside showbiz tip, and this is a genuine question.
Yes,
he
sir.
often talks about various topics, and even this morning he was talking about a topic about a YouTube blogger, and then the person he's talking about, this happened with Frank Lampard about a decade ago. They call him up, they call his station up.
Yeah.
Now, how does one verify that the person calling him, because, I can do a number of voices, right, and 10 years ago, what if I would have just called up and go, hello, LBC, it's Frank Lampard here, can I get put through?
Well, here's the thing.
Why are you talking like that, Frank?
I will let Catherine answer that one, because she's had more experience coming from the BBC where they had to, you would get people phoning up saying, I am the person you are talking about in that story. And I remember a training session on that, but you Catherine...
Do you?
Yeah, I remember it getting brought up in one of those crappy training sessions. But go on, you answer this to start with, because you.
So how would you do it? Well, of course, you would first of all go on gut instinct, and I've learned how to detect a blagger over sort of almost 20 years of working in radio.
You work with Roberto Perrone.
You'd look at the phone number.
A lot of in-jokes.
You'd look at where those people were at the moment, where they were calling from.
Right. But today's morning guy, he's an American YouTuber called James something. The guy who had 8,000 people in Birmingham come through. And he called from the back of an Uber, and he has a generic American voice, and obviously, he was the guy who James is talking about. But
How do you know he was the guy that he was talking about?
Well, LBC have put it up on their website. He might not have been the guy, but I'm just saying Frank Lampard.
Here's the thing. Well, the Frank Lampard thing's slightly different, because I think I've never heard that call, but I'm aware that James was being quite rude about Frank Lampard, and Frank Lampard phoned up in quite an aggressive manner, to defend himself.
Yeah, but he called up instantaneously, so James was slagging him off, and he called up, and he just went, hello, James' producer, it's Frank Lampard, I want to get through.
I would imagine that that those in the know would recognise Frank Lampard's voice. Do you think he's quite the thing with the YouTuber, if they've put it up online afterwards, then they've probably gone back and done a little bit of checking to make sure.
Right. Okay.
You have to, Kath's right, it's a lot of it is gut. It's slightly different now with Twitter, because you can actually DM someone and say, "Is this you're saying you're on? Is this you?"
Precisely. I'm imagining he would have rung in on an American number who's using his mobile phone.
Well, he was in the back of. He was in the. I have to phrase this carefully. I was going to say he was in the back of an Uber driver, but he was in the back
of But I imagine he was using his own phone, so.
You just have to. Kath's right. It's gut. You can generally tell, but you know what? When you can't tell, that's funny. It's funny. Someone gets one, but do you know what? And that's a great prank. I could have phoned up James O'Brien. Hey man, I'm the guy. I'm the dude you're talking about there.
You would have been
Shut up, man.
It's difficult to do, isn't it? Because you had one of your new viral clips, and obviously this won't reach the heights of you and Amir Khan on Good Morning. 1.5 million. Well done, Iain.
Thank you very much. I get a pound for every one of those.
There's a 32-year-old virgin from Colorado who does a very sort of downbeat YouTube channel, and I often say to him, why don't you monetize it? He often gets 1,000 views in a month. But anyway, one of your very virally recent ones is the White History Month one, The
what? Sorry,
the Scouse fella going, Iain, when's White History Month?
Oh, yeah, but now we've got a bit of distance between that. I suspect that was a spoof call, and we suspected that as it was happening, but it was just such a delicious call that we kind of went along with it for a bit of theatre, but I suspect that wasn't real.
But then what happened was a few days after that, because even though I'm a very, cool guy...
Jesus, what is this? Is this the interrogation by the Stasi? What the hell is going on here, man?
Or are you trying to tell us that was you?
No, a few days after that, or maybe a week after that, I called up and I said, Iain, I've got a question for you. We have Benazir Bhutto History Month, but what about Cilla Black History Month? And I thought that was a great skit, but I don't think either of you got it.
We got it. It wasn't.
We didn't think it was a great skit.
It wasn't as great as you thought. James, I wouldn't open with that one, is my suggestion.
That is hilarious on LVC. Tom Swarbrick, that's it.
Well, you phone up. Why don't you phone up Tom Swarbrick now and see if? Oh, by the way, James, if you do any prank phone calls to Tom Swarbrick and tape them, and they're funny, we'll definitely have it.
It's tricky because it's always about Brexit, and it's difficult in the Brexit conversation to go.
No, it isn't.
A smooth criminal.
There we go. It's not, because I've heard you do straight phone calls and then you go into. You do all that. Go on, do it now.
Are you okay?
Right, but now do it. Right, okay, so let's talk about Brexit, and at some point in this conversation, James, I want you to go into that. This is your training, okay? Right?
Okay, I'm actually also doing my Scottish voice, which is quite difficult to maintain.
No, but you did it beautifully.
Well, start off Scottish. Okay, so
this isn't my real voice, by the way. So shall I just do my?
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know your real voice. So you're going to be Scottish now. Let's go to James, who is calling from. And again, this is a problem because I can see where you're calling from. This is James from Croydon. James, you're originally from Scotland. Of course, the majority of Scotland voted to remain. How do you feel about Theresa May's plan?
Right. Well, basically, sorry, I got the wrong one. Okay. Right, okay, just do that bit again. Sorry.
Right. We've got James on the line. James, now, it says you're in Croydon, but originally, it says on my screen you are from Aberdeen. Of course, Scotland voted to remain. What do you think about what's happening with Theresa May and her plan?
Well, the thing is...
Don't start with I, because that's an obvious joke voice.
Okay, okay, so, I think the European Union is a great thing.
All right, don't do Scottish.
Sure, just go back there.
James is from Croydon. James, what do you think about Theresa May's plan?
I think Theresa May was sort of doing all right, but then towards the end I thought, Juncker, you've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Mate, do it!
Can I make a small suggestion? Just be a bit more subtle with the accent, because anything super strong like that is going to arouse suspicion. Silence, though.
He's gone.
No one's going to figure that one out. Are you there still?
OK, he's gone weird on us now. I'm going to cut that guy off. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So what's this thing? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone. I don't need to say that, do I? We've got a recording of an angry person saying the phone number. No, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Is that?
I like mine quite hard, and then I like to put it all in my mouth at once. Well, you do keep butting in, don't you?
Aren't your balls normally held back by your willy?
03 444 99 1000
is the phone number if you want to give us a call. After midnight, we're going to find out the scumbags. And these are scumbags, American scumbags. Trolls, vile trolls, a-holes, to use their horrible bastardisation of the British language as scumbags. Keith and the girl, who were friends of the show, and now they're not friends of the show because...
I still like them.
No, you shouldn't like them. You don't like them. If anyone is subscribed to their podcast, unsubscribe. I'm going to ask for them $50 back that I gave them for their poxy little, crappy little internet radio show. They're dead. They're dead to me, and we will call them up and we will destroy them on air because they're scumbags.
Is reeling from the news that he did not win one of their annual Catgut Awards.
I'm the biggest star they've ever had on that show.
No, that's not true. They've had people that have been on Saturday Night Live. I have been live on a Saturday night. Yeah, you've watched it.
No, I don't. Shut up! Saturday night. I was the strawberry guy in the jungle. So they're scumbags. They're dicks, and I'm going to phone them up and tell them after midnight. But before we do that, there are a group of people that think all birds are actually drones. Catherine, over to you.
Yes, this is according to The Sun. Bird Brain. There is a 70,000-strong online army who say all birds were poisoned and replaced with drones and recharge By sitting on power lines. That sounds legit. A group of conspiracy theorists say they believe birds were killed using a virus and replaced by surveillance robots. Sun Online takes a closer look to see if it's a legitimate conspiracy theory or just a satirical joke.
Okay.
Which could it be?
Oh. Hang on, if it's a satirical joke, then just don't bother reading the rest of it.
Well, we don't know. We're not going to find out until we read it.
Oh, hang on a minute.
They do sit on power lines, though, don't they?
Hang on a minute.
And that's quite dangerous.
When have you ever heard an option that it could be A, or it could be a satirical joke? I mean, no, that's never offered up as an option. The fact that it's there makes me suspicious, makes me sniffy. I think there's something weird going on here.
Whether it's pigeons peering on pavement, seagulls trying to steal your chips on a seaside day trip, or proud peacocks strutting through a stately home, birds are everywhere. So far, so true.
Okay. Yep.
But according to an online group of conspiracy theorists, our feathered friends aren't real, but actually drones used by the government to spy on us. The Birds Aren't Real movement, which has its own Facebook group.
Right, hang on a minute.
And website where you can buy a T-shirt saying birds aren't real, birds are lies.
I wouldn't mind one of those T-shirts.
I quite like one as well. I might buy one.
Okay.
The Birds Aren't Real movement, which says 12 billion birds were purposefully wiped out using a virus, formed on the internet 2 years ago and has gained almost 70,000 Instagram followers since its inception. Some people have questioned whether the movement is simply a satire of other conspiracy theories, which seems plausible considering their website sells a range of merchandise. Well, listen, they've got to make rent as well as finding out what these drones are doing. But Peter McIndoe, of the US college student who first set it up, claims he is completely serious in his belief that birds are spy drones.
Is that it?
No, I'm panning down.
Okay.
According to McIndoe and his group, the US government purposefully killed 12 billion birds between 1959 and 1971. They say that water tanks in planes were filled with a bird poison that, when consumed by the birds, would give them viruses which they could pass on to others. Hang on. There's lots of pictures. McIndoe explains, the poison was sprayed from an altitude of 8,000 feet and would completely dissolve before it hit the ground. Once a single drop of the poison struck the bird's feathers, the virus would take hold through the fibres and make its way into the bloodstream. That sounds like science to me. That sounds like science.
A waste of time.
He adds that the virus would affect the bone structure of the birds and that when they died, total decomposition would take place within 24 hours, removing the need to hide bodies.
Makes me want to puke.
They've thought of everything.
You make me want to puke.
The group claims this was orchestrated by Alan Welsh Dulles, who was the director of the CIA between 1953 and 1961, who they say relocated £49 billion worth of public health funding towards extinction of birds.
Okay, I'm bored.
Shockingly,
this is a satirical joke.
The group claims that John F. Kennedy...
Why are you still reading?
John F. Kennedy, because some people are into this.
Why are you still reading?
Was assassinated because he was against what was happening to the feathered creatures, and then since then the CIA have rigged every US election to allow candidates who were anti-bird and pro-citizen surveillance to win the presidency.
Okay, well, I apologise. I thought we had something here, and it turns out we had nothing here at all.
Birds aren't real.
Bad research from that direction.
Wrote on a Twitter thing, why on earth would we need to prop up wires in the sky to give energy to our homes? All those wires are underground anyway. These are clearly public drone charging stations propped up in plain sight.
I don't know if anyone heard Howard Hughes last night. It was a great show. He had a sweary witch on there. He had
a switch.
She had a moped, 50cc moped stolen. And
slowly.
They tried to steal it a few times, so she put a hex on it, right? She put a hex on it so that anyone that touched her moped would feel sad. I think that was it. Did you hear this? Did you hear it?
How sad, though?
Oh, sad enough to want to take it back, and it worked. They stole it. And they took it back, but she was quite sweary, and Howard had to go, I know you're very upset about this, and I can tell from the tone of your voice, and also the language. I will have to ask you to tone the language down a little bit, please.
Well, get passionate about your moped.
Yeah, you do.
I'd be annoyed if someone messed with mine. They would be very sad.
There was a strange... Howard Hughes, Sunday night, it's a great show. I love it. We must get him back on again. I'll send him a little email, see if he'll come on this week or next. Oh! Tomorrow, 10:30, Chris Warburton. He's been on before. He's from 5 Live, another radio station. And he came on because he'd done the really good podcast series about the staircase, the murder. Murder. Was it a murder or was it an accident? It was a murder. This guy's wife, had she fallen down the stairs? Had she been murdered? He murdered her. Or had she been attacked by an owl?
Spoiler alert.
He murdered her. Although I don't think he'd been... he was found guilty of the murder, then he was found not guilty of the murder. But he murdered her. It's America, we can say that. Anyway, he's got a new series, which I've only just started listening to. I've just done episode 3. It's... What's it called?
It's called...
Devil Days. The Dark...
No,
the Darkness.
End of Days.
End of Days. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Let me get it up on my... I use Castbox as my
Do you?
podcast catching service these days.
Yeah, End of Days podcast.
Okay, I'm just going to check it. Right. Here we go. It's called End of Days. And there are 8 episodes. Yep. It finished in November. Okay, well, that may be when he actually got in touch with me asking if he could come on the show, and I may have only just put it back. Anyway, it's about Waco. Wake Up to Waco is what I would have called it. I would have called it Wake Up to Waco. In fact, the first thing we say to him when Chris comes on to him, I say, well, hey, man, great podcast. Why the hell didn't you call it Wake Up to Waco, you BBC loser?
Don't say that till the end, though.
Too busy with your snout in the trough, huh? So it's called Wake Up. No, it's not called Wake Up to Waco. It should be called Wake Up to Waco. It's called End of Days, and it's about. And here's the thing that makes it different. It's about I think it's 29. The 29 British saps that went over to Waco.
And that we're inside.
At least one of whom is still alive, Livingstone.
Yes.
He's
a character, isn't he?
It's an incredible listen. Waco's something I don't know much about. There's a great, I think it's John Ronson did a documentary about Waco and about the siege of Waco anyway. And the siege was handled terribly by the American government, the FBI I think it was. In fact, I think there may have been 2 different kind of services competing. But they were trying to use disruption techniques, so they would play like Barry Manilow music for 36 hours and shine lights on and stuff like that. They handled it terribly, yes, it was David Koresh was a nut job and he was a paedophile, and but the FBI handled it terribly.
The thing that most shocked me about it, because I remembered it vaguely, happening, and I thought it must have been the 80s. It wasn't. It was the 90s.
Well, this is the thing. Chris says it happened very recently. It didn't. It was 1993. That's 26 years ago.
I know, but the 90s is... I was almost an adult then. I wasn't a kid.
That's a quarter of a century. It was over a quarter of a century ago. Anyway, he's coming. It's a great podcast. So if you want to get up to speed a little bit, they're only 30 minutes each. There's 8 of them. So let me... So yeah, there's about maybe 3 hours worth of material to listen to. Have a listen to some of those. Wake Up, End of Days, Chris Warburton. It's on podcast, and he's coming on tomorrow night, 10:30, to answer the question as to why he did not call it Wake Up to Waco.
That might have sounded a bit insensitive. I don't know, maybe because...
No, we got Wake Up to Waco. Wake up to it, guys. This is important. Wake up to it. We've been sleeping.
Okay.
You've been. You have. Here's the problem. I really thought it was there. The problem is with you, Catherine. If you
there
don't,
isn't a problem with
well,
me.
there is one problem. If you don't mind me saying,
I do.
You are sleeping. You do not want to believe.
Okay, I'll say, my name is Yasser and I am a massive racist.
Okay. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Great news. My cat slept on my bed with me last night for the first time ever. It was a joyous moment. It was a joyous moment, Tone.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello.
Tony?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Tony. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on.
Holding on, sir.
Right, hello.
Tony.
Yeah, go on.
No, Okay, well, listen. Can we speak after the news?
Yeah, sure.
All right, perfect. This is going to be a great call. We're going to kick off the next hour with Tony. And I see we're getting a phone call from Spain, from Granada. Granada in Spain, in España. Granada in España is calling us. This is going to be great. And then we're going to phone up Keith and the girl. I'm going to rip them. I'm going to rip them. I'm going to roast them. just think Wake Up to Waco makes more sense.
No,
0344 499 1000. This, dear listener, this is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
From my granddaddy, come. These are the words me hear from my granddaddy. He say nothing in this world like when a man know him free. Free from the lock, I miss free from the key. Free like a butterfly, free like a bee. These are the words me hear from my granddaddy. Said it's nice to be free, nice to be free. Free from the lock, I miss free from the key. Don't be afraid of your freedom. 'Cause I'm free, do what I want, any old time.
Not free. We are enslaved by not just the Tory government, by the Labour Party, by politics, by capitalism,
by the man,
by Amazon, by Apple, by your iPhone. Yes. So that song's a lie. Before the break, we got some great calls lined up. We got Richard, we got Nigel, but before that. We got a call. Someone's calling again from Granada in España. But before that, we were speaking to Tony, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation with Tony. Everyone's gonna come away from this a little bit more enriched. Good evening, Tony.
Hello, how are you doing?
That's none of your business. What can we do for you tonight?
Well, I heard you talking about that podcast you've been listening to, The Staircase.
Well, yeah, I listened to that last year. Yes.
Well, have you seen it on Netflix? They've
Yes.
actually got the documentary on there.
Yeah, they don't really mention the owl theory in there very much, but yes, I've seen it.
Oh, right, okay. And there was another couple that I was going to say to you. Have you seen Evil Genius on there?
Did I start watching that and get a bit bored?
It's a 4-part where a fella walks into a bank and he's got a bomb round his neck.
Oh, no, I saw that. Oh, flipping it. Be warned, you'll see a man with a bomb strapped to him being blown up.
Did you expect to see that?
No, I did not expect to see that. I made Kath watch it. Kath was genuinely peed off with me for showing it to her. Because it's about 7 minutes in and she went, Oh, why have you shown me that? Genuine,
Yeah,
very...
I didn't think they were going to do it, did you?
No, I wish they hadn't. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was quite good, though. But the actual documentary itself was quite good.
I tell you a good one. Fire is good.
Sorry?
Fire, F-Y-R-E, about...
yes, I've seen that. I've seen that about the festival. Yeah,
Now, there are two documentaries about this. There's one on Netflix and there's one on Hulu. Who's got Hulu? I don't know. But apparently in the one on Hulu, they've got the Billy Guy Gruff, the man behind it. He's in it. He's in the documentary and talks to them.
Yeah, he's in this one. He's in the one on that.
He doesn't talk to them, you muppet! And I keep starting, but I don't. The Ted Bundy tapes. How do you feel about that?
I've started watching about half an hour of that. And that looks really good. But I'll tell you what is good. You've probably seen that, Making of a Murderer.
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I've not bothered with the second one.
No?
Do you know why I've not bothered with the second one?
Why?
He's guilty.
Well,
he's totally. Wasn't it? I can't remember. Was it his wife or someone? I can't remember. But he's totally guilty. He is guilty.
That was filmed over. Oh, that's the other good one on there. Innocent Man.
I am an innocent man. You absolute bellend. Look what you've done. You knobber.
But I made it stop.
No, but you made it stop, but now you're going to get it. Now you're going to get it. Hang on,
I threw a newspaper at him and it missed and hit his water bottle.
She sat literally 8 inches away from me. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. You asked for this, Catherine.
I know this song too.
You made this happen.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, actually. Yes, you did. You made it happen. This wasn't going to happen until you made it happen. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
Shut up, Tony.
Oh, God, really? This is the worst version as well. What's this? On a Bon Tempi.
Some people stay far away from the door if there's a chance of it opening up. Don't know the verses.
They hear a voice in the hall outside and hope that it just passes by.
If you're going to ruin it, I'm not. If you're going to ruin it, I'm not going to
do it. Go on. Go on. I won't laugh. It'll be good.
Who is that? Billy Joel?
Yep.
No, it was me. That's how good I am. That is how good I am.
Yeah,
I can do all the voices. Here we go. Please don't ruin this. This is a very special song to me. Some people stay far away from the door if there's a chance of it opening up. They hear a voice in the hall outside and hope that it just passes by. Some people live with the fear of a touch and the anger of having been a fool.
People know
they will not listen to anyone, so nobody tells them a lie. I know you're only protecting yourself.
No.
I know you're thinking of somebody else. Someone who hurt you, but I'm not above making up for the love you've been denying you could ever feel. I'm not above doing anything to restore your faith if I can.
Wow, the drowning man.
Some people see through the eyes of the old before they ever get a look at the young. That's inappropriate, though, but here we go. I'm only willing to hear you ruining it.
Well, I'm trying to help you because you're nowhere near it.
If you're going to ruin it, there's no point in me doing it.
All right, go on. Take the run up, but this is awful.
If you're going to ruin it, please don't ruin it. You've done this. You've made me start again. You did this. Just don't ruin it. Shut up, Tony!
Stop victim blaming.
Some people stay far away from the door if there's a chance of it opening up.
Oh, dear.
They hear a voice in the hall outside and they hope that it just passes by.
I wish it would.
Idiot. Some people live with the fear of a touch and the anger of having been a fool. They will not listen to anyone, so nobody tells them a lie. I know you're only protecting yourself. I know you're thinking of somebody else, someone who hurt you, but I'm not above making up for the love you've been denying you could ever feel. I'm not above doing anything to restore your faith if I can. Some people see through the eyes of the old before they ever get to look at the young. I don't like that line. I'm only willing to hear you cry because I am an innocent man. I know this bit.
No, you don't. Oh, God.
Hey! I'm an innocent man. Oh, yes, I am. Oh.
Sound like Jack Black there, Nato Lieber, isn't it?
I don't like... Do you know what, Tony? I don't like your attitude, mate. Your attitude sucks.
I think it's spot on.
I'm going to cut Tony off now. He's a scumbag. He's a troll. He's a vile troll. Let's go to Lee. Lee is calling from Spain. Good evening, Lee. Hasta la vista. And te quiero. It's great to have you on board. What can we do for you tonight, Lee?
Your Spanish is good.
Sorry?
Your Spanish is good.
Gracias. Grazie.
De nada.
You're in Spain and you can't even speak Spanish. I'm proud of you, son.
No, I do. I do.
Go on,
then. Okay. ¿Cómo estás?
Sí, te quiero, te capascana, la vola mecala, por la secana tuasneca y la burguesquela.
I don't think that's Spanish.
Okay, well that just shows how, because that's like a very advanced Spanish, which you probably don't know. So that's cool. What is it? Is it warm in Spain or is it cold? Because it can get cold in Spain.
It's freezing.
Unlucky, mate.
It's really cold.
What you doing in Spain? Do you live there? Are you working there, or what's going on?
Yeah, I live here. I'm not working at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's happy days. Happy days. How long have you been out there for?
17 years.
Flip it up, man! And how many places do a good egg and chips? Oh, egg and chips! Oh, a fancy egg and chips!
Granada is a classy environment. They do not have egg and chips places.
I do fancy egg and chips now, though, mate. You shouldn't have brought that up. Lee.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ian, you're right.
Of course I'm right. I'm always right. I'm a very right guy. What can we do for you this evening, Lee? It's lovely to talk to you. So it's great to have
I wanted to know what you guys thought about... I have some tattoos, and I want to have a new tattoo.
Yep.
And I thought, is it wrong to let the child do a small part of the tattoo on the body?
Now, when you say the child, first of all, who is the child? Just a random kiddie or your own child?
Yeah, my own child, yeah.
How old is your child?
7.
And when you say have them do it, do you mean, like, with the needle and stuff?
Yeah, but
that's insane. That's insane.
Pardon?
That's insane. Giving them the tattoo needle.
No, what I mean is, I want to have a new tattoo.
Yeah.
And as they get older, I can see that, changing into adults. And I don't know. I want a little bit of the child to put a bit of tattoo.
You want him to design, the child, he or she, to design a bit of the tattoo?
No, he. I want him to go with me to the tattoo parlour.
Yes.
The tattooista, and obviously the guy does tattoo, but the child does a small part.
They're not called tattooistas.
Yeah.
He's combined tattoo with barista.
Well, where do you think that comes from?
Barista?
What do you mean? Because it comes from Costa. What are you saying? Are you saying you want? Do you want the child? Here we have established to draw a bit of the tattoo that the tattooista. I'll play a game. I know it looks it's like a muffet of tea. That he draws a bit that the tattooista then tattoos on you, or do you want the child to hold the tattoo needle?
Yes.
To which of those two options?
To hold the needle, to actually hold the tattoo.
No.
What is that?
That is not. Hey, having a picture that your kid has drawn, tattooed on you. Actually, I quite like that. That's kind of quite cool.
No, not something that a child has drawn. I thought about that.
No, I know. You want him to actually do the tattoo. That's insane, isn't it?
Just a small part. Just a centimetre of tattoo.
Won't you like bleed in that? That's quite horrific for a 7-year-old.
Pardon?
Won't you bleed a bit?
I don't understand.
You know, well, blood, when it comes out your body, that's bleeding. Do you not bleed when you have a tattoo done?
Yes, of course.
So your 7-year-old's going to make you bleed?
So I was only asking if you thought it was okay or not okay.
Well, we're running through the pros and cons, and so far...
Tell me why you would like it done. Explain it to me. Go on.
Because a tattoo means something normally.
Yep. I get that.
And so, for me, that would mean something.
Okay, fine. Then yeah, do it. I think it's a lovely idea to have involve your children with body art. I think it's a lovely idea.
That's all I was asking. Is it a wrong thing to do? It's not a wrong thing to do.
No, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a bonding experience. I think it'll be great. And in return, you should do a little tattoo on him. Only a centimetre.
Maybe like a little moustache or something.
A moustache, like in Friends.
Yeah, okay.
Not seen it. Do it, man. Do it. When are you going to get it done, Lee?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to know what you guys thought.
I think it's beautiful to involve your children in making permanent marks on your body.
Can I make a suggestion?
Here we go. Here comes Mum's... Quick, Mum's coming! Hide the stash!
Sleep on it and then make the decision in the morning.
Okay. Thank you.
When you've had a glass of water.
Nice one, Lee. Good luck, mate. Thanks for calling, buddy.
All right.
Cheers,
Thank
fella.
you.
Tatty
Bye.
bye. Tatty bye. That's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. Getting a kid to do a bit of a tattoo. I thought it was going to be a drawing. He wants it with the needle.
7-year-old.
Hey. No, I don't think so. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee. On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
The Who are playing a concert. I got excited. Wembley Stadium. I'm not going to go to the stadium.
Why?
I don't like stadium gigs. I'm not a sucker.
Drawing the line.
I'm drawing the line. I went to one stadium gig to see the Eagles, and it was awful. It was just lousy, mainly because it was the Eagles. But no, so that's I was going to teach them. That'll teach them a lesson.
Yeah. Roger will be out there and he'll go, "Hello, oh, where's Iain Lee?"
He's American, is he?
Well, he talks like that a bit.
Hello,
doesn't he?
London.
Hello, London.
Hello, Brexit. I voted Brexit. Screw you guys.
Where's Iain Lee?
Where's Iain Lee? Brexit.
Also, he's a very tiny man, so no one's going to see very much at all. Oh, dear.
Richard's on the line. Good evening, Richard.
Are you all right?
All right, Richard.
Oh, it's safe, mate.
It's safe. There we go.
Right,
there we go. We're in. We're in.
What was your... I've got a question for you.
Okay, and I might have an answer for you if you're lucky. If you're lucky.
Right, in 1992, what was your favourite rave DJ?
My favourite rave DJ in 1982 when I was
1992.
1992. It was Frankie Knuckles.
What about Slipmat?
Sorry?
Slipmat.
Slipmat?
Yeah.
What, like in your shower?
Slipmat. Top Buzz. Groove Rider.
No. Flipmat and Shitbuzz. What? Flipback and Shitbuzz.
Top Buzz.
Top Buzz? No, I didn't like Top Buzz.
Do you like Top Buzz? Brilliant, they are.
No, I'm not. I'm not really a fan of Top Buzz. I just thought he changed the records a little bit too slowly. I saw him once do a gig, and he put it on. He put a 45 on, but he played it at 33. It totally killed the vibe. It killed the vibe like nobody's business.
Like Master Safe.
I like Master Chef.
Master Safe, brilliant.
Master Chef is better, although I preferred it when it was hosted by Lloyd Grossman and it was a competition. Isn't it?
Makes sauce now.
It does make
Anyone
sauce.
can be a Master Chef.
Make some noise.
Sorry?
Everyone in the house, make some noise.
Everybody make some noise. All right, Richard. I think maybe you took too many of those disco biscuits back in the day.
No, I didn't do that. No.
You sure?
Never.
Thanks very much for your call.
The voice of the 90s there.
Guys, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs in the 90s, and don't do drugs repeatedly in the 90s. When it's time to stop. Let's see if Nigel's feeling any better. He had the lurgy on Friday. He's still alive, which is a bonus, Nigel.
Oh, hi guys.
Husky.
I still got the flu.
Oh, mate, you sound lousy.
Yes, but I went to the doctors today and my temperature's gone.
Oh, that's good. Well, that means you're through the worst of it, I think, doesn't it?
I was improving.
Brilliant.
Apart from this, I can swallow better now.
Oh.
I'm drinking soup. I had a dinner earlier.
Back to that fella in the street. Go on.
So I've been eating properly now.
That's it. You're going to start getting your strength back.
Yeah. And so I went to the doctors, and it's a good job I went because I met a new girl, made a new girlfriend. What a shock!
Isn't she riddled with disease?
No.
Okay, that's good. She nursed.
She was at the surgery, you mean?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
No, she was all right. She looked healthy enough.
Okay, they always do.
No,
well, that's nice.
Two children of 7, and I think one of those was ill.
Okay, well, good. As long as she was fit.
Yeah, she looks like Lindsay Lohan, by the way, ever so attractive.
Okay, well, that's
She wants to clean my house. She's single.
Yes.
And she's coming to clean my dust around my house to help me with some of the things. You know, dusting.
Wow.
Is she a cleaner then, or just a kind person?
No, she wants to be friends as well, you know, and her mother's got to know me as well, her mum.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So I've got company now.
Were they all at the doctor's?
Pardon?
Were they all at the doctor's?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Do be careful, just, inviting strangers round to your house. Just flag that up.
She's rather not. She chatted me up when I went back to sit and wait for a spray, which I'm getting tomorrow, spray for my throat.
Yeah.
She come over and chatted me up again.
Well,
of course,
one of two
I showed her a video of my mum in hospital and told her that my mum died.
Okay. Well, let's hope that she. Here's what I'm erring on: that she is a kind angel who wants to help people. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm believing.
But she also wants a job cleaning as well.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, does she know you haven't got any money to pay her?
No, she never mentioned money, but she doesn't have to do anything.
She mentioned cleaning, and she mentioned cleaning, and she mentioned she wants a job cleaning. And
that wasn't just it. She said she was still come and have a cup of tea even without any money.
Okay, well then let's.
Her mum drives her around, you see.
Okay, well let's
hope she's sincere.
Let's hope she's sincere. Yes, that's a great phrase.
As Roger Moore would say. Yeah, I can make these funny noises now. I've got the flu.
Someone just hacked our phone call. We said Roger Moore on there.
Roger Moore. I'm Roger Moore. Does it sound like Roger Moore?
Sounds like Alan Partridge.
Roger Moore's got the flu.
Roger Moore's got the flu.
Oh, Roger Moore's on the phone.
Hello.
He's got a bit of flu tonight.
Mum, Roger Moore's on the phone.
Roger Moore.
I sound all right, Stallone.
Roger Moore and Sylvester Stallone on the phone.
Listen to this, Ian.
Yeah, go on.
When I laugh...
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, God, that went right in my ear.
Oh, no.
Cough it up, Nigel. It might be a piano.
No, thank you. Stop that.
Okay. You get these funny noises. I'm still very
chesty.
Funny.
No.
I'm still very chesty, Ian.
Well, okay.
How's George Gadaway? Have you met George Gadaway recently?
I met him on Friday.
Yeah, I used to be on his show a few years ago.
He's great, George. Love a bit of George.
He knows me very well.
Every Friday night, 7 till 10. You'll never hear a show like it.
No.
Okay.
No, I've still got the internet anyway to keep me.
Maybe you could sing a Barry White song for us.
Well, I have to know. I forget how they go now. What was the one?
Baby, I want to make love to you.
No, the fast one.
Okay, well, I just feel that you won't have this voice forever. Maybe we should utilise it.
Yeah. I don't think I can get it back now. I can't tonight. I'm worn out. I'm so tired.
Why does life have to be so unfair?
Can you do
Yeah.
I was born?
Oh, yeah, I could do that one.
Go on then, let's have
Right. Shall I do I was born? Yeah, I was born. I could do that one.
Flipping heck. That's a whole step down. Yeah, go on.
I was born on a Sunday afternoon. I was born and I fell out my cot. So I was born.
I've got a feeling he
and
doesn't know the song.
had a shit on the carpet.
Hey, Nigel!
There's shit on the carpet.
I had a shit on the carpet.
Come on now, please.
Nigel. What have you got, rudolitis?
All right, Nigel. Thanks for calling, man. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, I think he said it would. He wouldn't give me antibiotics.
Good.
No.
But I wanted them, but he said you don't have to have them.
No, he's done the right thing. Antibiotics are killing this planet. And they probably wouldn't. Then you don't give antibiotics for the flu anyway.
But he said it would take a week or two to get better.
Yeah, well, that's life.
I hope it gets better before that girl turns up.
Yes, man.
So I've got more energy.
to sit with her and make her a cup of tea, yeah?
No, for the other thing, you know.
No, come on, man.
In case she wants to do the other thing,
She
you
won't.
never know.
Listen, she's not going to want to have sex with you, man. That's the.
You don't know, do you?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Well, she's only 30. I said I was too old for her.
Yeah, you are.
But she still wants to be friends.
Okay, well, let's just hope she's not there to exploit you and steal all of your equipment.
I can't understand her keep chatting me up, but never mind.
No, I'm suspicious.
So perhaps she's after me money.
She might be, though, man. This is my concern. Is she
It's
might
a
be.
problem when they know someone's lost somebody.
We're getting there. Yes, it can be when they see someone who's vulnerable because they're on their own. People can come and take advantage of that.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't tell her where I lived. No. You know, she asked me where do you live?
So how's she going to... When's she coming round, then?
Oh, no, she's going to call me, but I didn't want to tell her where I live straight away.
I'd be very, very careful inviting strangers round.
I don't know who she is.
No, and you don't know. I mean, maybe she's a good soul. I don't know. I feel...
Well, her husband left her, so...
Yeah, the sex isn't a thing. Really, I feel very protective of you, Nigel. I know you don't...
No, I'm thinking, why did her husband leave her so quickly after 7 years?
Well, who knows why marriages break down? We don't know.
Okay, I've got to go, Ian.
Okay.
I'm very tired.
All right, bye. Let's go to another Nigel. Good evening, Nigel.
Good evening. Well, I sincerely hope that Nigel becomes better soon. He doesn't sound at all well. But
well, he's a lot better than he was Friday, so that's something. He's going in the right direction.
Well, that's good. But what an amazing doctor surgery. You go with a sore throat and come up with a wife, mother-in-law and 2 kids. It's astonishing.
He's got a family.
Yeah. I mean, can you really get that on the National Health?
You can, but I'm afraid after Brexit, you won't be able to anymore. So you guys have voted Brexit. You've ruined this. You've ruined the NHS family giveaways. Outrageous.
So it's family giveaways on a Friday. Well, what do we get on Mondays if you go to that surgery?
You get a boot up the arse and you bus fare home.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, these are crazy days. Nigel, what can we do for you this evening?
I just rang about Nigel. I was prompted to ring because he sounded vulnerable, and I think he made the right call. But being very careful if he gets his address out for these people, you know.
Well, here's the thing. I think it would be fair to say, and we can speak with respect, but Nigel doesn't actually listen to the show, so we can speak freely but still respect the fact that he's a human being.
Of course.
Yeah, he is. He's vulnerable, and the stories that he phones, and we have a laugh with him, and he's singing. You know, he's quite a good singer, and we have a bit of fun with that, and that's all great. But the story over the last, 6-8 months since his mum got ill, it really is. Me and Catherine are both very, very concerned about, a vulnerable man who obviously, who obviously sees the world differently from everybody else, shall we say, inviting homeless people into his house, strangers into his house. I worry about him, man.
He's a very romantic soul.
And he's horny. You know.
Yes.
but here's the thing, Nigel, because there's nothing we can do about it. You know, I can't phone the council up. I can't. There's nothing I can do. It's not as if he's with it enough that we can't get involved and try and sort things out for him, but he's also out of it enough that he doesn't listen to any suggestions that we make. And it worries me quite a lot. It does worry me a lot.
He's obviously very, very close to his mother, because when my mother passed away, it was really difficult, and you go through unusual sort of emotions, but he sounds like a real nice guy, and I hope things work out for him. You know.
Well, you're a good man, Nigel, and I know that nearly everybody listening is rooting for him, and everyone enjoys his calls. Everyone has a little bit of a chuckle and stuff, and that's cool. But I think everyone's rooting. You know, we can hear a vulnerable soul who's a bit lost and lonely, and we've all got our fingers crossed.
Exactly.
Thank you, Nigel.
I look forward to his LP coming out very, very soon.
Oh, dear God, please don't. Nigel, thank you. It's a worry, isn't it? And we've talked about this a little bit on air, not much on air. We've talked about it more off air. What can you do? It's not like Gerry phoning up. He's on the floor. Okay, we've got a situation where we can. There is an obvious problem. We can sort out. We phone up the care home. We get him on.
And also, Gerry wants our help and can verbalise that.
Yes. It's not like Chris, who phoned up, who took the overdose before Christmas. Where there's a problem, and there's an immediate problem. There's a guy who's taken an overdose. We can get help to him. This is much more fluid. It's vaguer. Nigel from Maidstone has kind of shunned any advice we give him. He just doesn't hear the whole thing of him talking to Miley Cyrus and Kylie Minogue on Skype, and obviously. He hasn't, but you say that to him and he would get very upset, angry sometimes, put the phone down. Or then just
say, it doesn't really matter anyway, does it? No, never mind, and changes the subject.
Yeah. And without his mum there to kind of, steer him, oversee him and protect him to a certain extent, that's a vulnerable member of society living on his own. I don't mean this is an insult. But that is like a kid in a grown-up's body, in a grown-up's world, in a grown-up's house, having to deal with all the stuff that grown-ups deal with. And he hasn't got any grown-ups. He's a kid.
And I think the most shocking thing was, because we had a laugh and a joke with him, but when we realised that he had to ask his mum what date Christmas was, that's when we realised, hang on.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was maybe a couple of years ago. We kind of stumbled across that. So, by the way, don't tweet us. You should do this. You could do this. You could. We've thought about this long and hard, and all we feel comfortable doing at the moment is kind of watching from a distance when he phones up, having a laugh with him, and not at him, and just reminding him what we can remind him. It doesn't go in, but we can do that.
Gentle nudges are appropriate.
Don't tweet me either, because my Twitter's gone. I'm loving it. I am loving. Now I think it's 2 weeks I've not had Twitter. Of course, I'm searching my name on another Twitter account I have, which is separate. But I want to stop that. That's the next thing. But not having Twitter, man alive, Twitter for me personally, I can't speak for you, but I kind of it's. I'm not healthy on there. I indulge in unhealthy behaviour. It brings out the worst in me. And I see it bring out the worst in other people as well. I also see it bring out some great stuff as well. I'm not going to, completely deny it. But just having the freedom of, I don't have to tweet this funny thought I've had. I put it in the show, or I send it to you, Kath. Or I phone my kids up and say it. I don't have to tweet this thing. I'm not getting angry because I'm not looking at people's Twitter feeds or tweeting about Trump and Brexit, and I'm not getting angry about any of that stuff, because it's not, people that I was following who I think are brilliant and are amazing, but quite every now and then they tweet something about Trump or Brexit and I'd get angry and I'd want to get involved, and it's gone. That's gone. It's gone.
It's a very rare thing where people get involved in a Twitter conversation and it ends up with someone changing their mind.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I saw a really lovely thing, actually. You reminded me. The American comedian Patton Oswalt.
Uh-huh.
I sort of read a little bit about it. I saw a little bit. So some guy, I don't know what the original tweet was, some guy just went for him. Called him a dick or whatever. He just went for Patton Oswalt. He's a funny guy, right? Funny comedian, and he's an actor. He's been in loads of stuff. And apparently, I only saw the aftermath, so I didn't see the confrontations. This guy went for him, really laid into him, and Patton Oswalt called him out. And he retweeted him and said, have a look at this jerk, and made some, kind of roasted him a bit. Didn't see any of that. But then I kind of saw, it became a news story, because then, a little bit later on, Patton Oswalt tweeted, this guy sent me abuse earlier on, and I called him out for it. But then I checked his Twitter feed, and he's really, really ill. He's got kidney failure or something. Of course, in America, if you haven't got insurance, you can't get treatment. He said, this guy's really, really ill, and he's having a really lousy time. And he set up a GoFundMe for his medical thing. So I'm retweeting the link, and I've put. It turns out he put $2,000 in there himself, but I don't think he said that. He said I've put a few quid in there, and I'm just retweeting this, And the lesson I've learned is that if people are coming and having a go at me, that maybe there's a little bit of a backstory. And it became a big thing. And this guy made a load of money towards his medical treatment. I think he got enough money to get the treatment. And he kind of came back with his tail between his legs going, man, I'm humbled by this. I'm really sorry I laid into you, and I wasn't thinking, and I was ill, and I was lashing out, and what you've done is amazing. And it's turned into this beautiful... And, of course, loads of Patton Oswalt's followers, put in a few dollars here and there and helped out. That's an amazing... That can't be unique. That's pretty rare that something like that turns around like that.
Yeah.
I was thrilled by that. I thought that was lovely.
I've kind of learnt to, when someone comes at me out of the blue on there...
Don't get lost!
No, I tend to look at their feeds first and work out whether or not it's worth taking seriously.
Yeah.
I got a nasty shock yesterday with one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a man who spends a lot of time...
I saw that.
Yeah, looking at pictures of celebrities and doing his own designs on top of them.
Did he...
with his...
It's
fluids.
Yeah. Did he? Has he been suspended? Because I reported it.
He has not been suspended.
He said the way we spoke to Ray McGeorge was disgusting. Catherine's shut up, and she's fit, and he likes to masturbate over pictures of her, and that was horrible. Oh, it was horrible.
But he's not been suspended. He's had to take those down. But I mean, the rest of the stuff, photographs of largely young, famous women with his
scumbag
splooge on. Apparently, that's fine.
Splooge?
Yeah, nice one, Twitter.
Okay, splooge, you say?
Yes.
Wow.
That was one that Katie Puckrick taught me.
That's something to think about, isn't it?
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
You haven't got time to phone Keith and the girl tonight, the scumbags.
Lucky for them.
Well, yeah, it is lucky for them. So I'll phone them tomorrow.
I mean,
anything you want to say to that?
Well, I feel bad about it because it's me that's got their mobile numbers, and I don't really feel like it's.
You'll give me.
I like them.
You will give me their mobile details.
They're my kind of friends.
They're not friends. They're scumbags. Self-serving scumbags. Keith thinks the new Jumanji is a terrible film.
Well, it's Jumanji.
Jumanji. Jumanji. Wow, I don't know where that came from. That was... OK. You see what they do to us? They divide us. Stay with me. Stick with me. Good evening, Danny.
Hello, Kath. How are you?
Hello, Danny.
It's nice to ask people how they are when you care. Iain,
Let's go to Simon. Good evening, Simon.
Hello.
Hello, Simon.
I don't know what that was all about.
What are you doing? You're out of breath.
Hello, both of you. How are you?
It doesn't matter.
I hope you're running up a hill.
No.
Why are you out of breath and huffing and puffing?
It's just excited. It's just exuberance. Okay. Remember that?
Okay.
What can we got me by surprise. You got me by... I've got a bit of a weird one for you, right?
Okay, Simon.
So, the other day I watched a film called Gosnell. Have you heard of it?
No.
Right. It's about a man called...
You sure it's not called Go Snow?
No, Gosnell.
Okay.
Gos? As in...
Gos. It's about a man called Kermit Gosnell, right?
Okay.
He is America's biggest serial killer.
Yeah.
And he killed babies.
Oh, my God.
Just warming up the crowd for you, Paul. Don't worry, mate. We got him on your side, buddy. You carry on, yeah. Tell us about the baby killer, Simon.
Right. Now, he was an abortion doctor.
Okay.
Oh.
But there was 3 or 4. Well, there was loads and loads, but 3 or 4 that he was convicted of.
Right.
That he actually killed after they were born.
Okay, yeah. The story rings a bell, yeah.
Illegal late-term abortions.
No, after they were born, he was saying.
As well, right.
Right.
Yeah. He'd done loads of stuff, but...
Yeah. He was the wrong one.
They got him for that. And they showed the picture... It's based on a true story. And they showed a picture to the jury of what they call Baby A.
Okay, this is... this is... I mean, I know we say you can phone in about anything. This is pretty heavy shiz to be phoning in with.
Oh.
Don't look at the pictures. Don't look at the pictures. This is pretty heavy stuff to be phoning in with, man.
That's fair enough.
I mean, carry on, but a little bit less of the visual imagery, if you wouldn't mind. What is the point? What are you trying to say?
The point, what I'm wondering, now, I haven't got children.
No.
And I've never even come close to having children. So I don't have that bond or that chemistry that you I don't know. But the thing is, I saw, obviously, I know it was being acted out, but all of the jury, they've seen the pictures of this exhibit.
Oh, okay, yes.
And they all start bursting into tears and everything else. Now, there's a link on the end of the film where you can actually see the picture.
Wow.
So I looked at the picture.
Aye.
And the thing is, what I can't work out, it doesn't actually have any effect on me. I think it's very sad, and but why didn't I burst into tears? Is it because I don't have kids? I don't understand.
No, it's because you're a psychopath.
I think.
No, I don't know why. I don't know. First of all, I don't really know what the picture is. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Would it make me burst into tears? Depends what time of day, what day of the week it was. It might make me. It would certainly turn my stomach. Might make me burst into tears. It might not. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Why did you? Why? Here's the thing, though. If I saw that film, it sounds like a bloody unpleasant film. Not necessarily awful, but unpleasant. And it said there's. By the way, if you click on this link, you can see the pictures that upset the jury. The actual pictures of dead babies that upset the jury. Why would you click on that? I'm not judging you. I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't click on it. I wonder, and I wouldn't before I had kids or after I had kids. I just wondered why you would.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, to me, because I haven't, and I'm asking as opposed to saying, I'm trying to work it all out.
Yeah.
But to me, because I don't have that bond and that sort of, I haven't had a child.
Yeah.
It was more of a macabre kind of interest, as opposed to, look what this man's done, isn't it terrible?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's right, really.
Well, there's no right or wrong. Catherine, you want to say something? Go on.
I find it really upsetting, and I've noticed it's happening more and more on the online papers because I have to look through them every day, where they will put a picture on the front page of it, so you don't even get the choice as to whether you click on it, of a dead baby.
Really?
And it really, really upsets me, and I wish they would stop doing it, because before you realise what it is, you're looking at it. Him or her.
Is it desensitisation, do you think?
Oh, yeah, oh, God, totally. I mean, we're all, you compare to what upset us 20 years ago or 40 years ago, we have been desensitised. Here's the thing. I mentioned this Ted Bundy, the Bundy tapes. It's on Netflix. It's audio recordings of interviews with Ted Bundy, big serial killer, killed, raped and murdered, I don't know, 30, 50 young women, sort of 18 to 30. It was horrible. And everyone keeps going, oh, it's great. And I keep starting it. I think we've got about 35 minutes into the first one, and I just keep thinking, this doesn't feel right as entertainment, because that's what it is. It's entertainment.
The thing I'm really uncomfortable with is how they keep going on about how attractive he was. I don't see that. I don't see that at all, and I also don't see how it's relevant.
Oh.
Is it? Oh, he didn't need to go out and do this. He didn't need to go and do this to women.
I do think in some of them he is attractive. I do think in some there's a couple of shots of him, videos of him walking, and he seems very attractive, very charming. And I think more than attractive, I think they mean normal. He looks normal. He looks like a normal guy. He just looks normal in the same way that Shipman looked normal. But here's
they refer to Dharma as attractive as well, though.
I don't know much about Jeffrey Dahmer, but here's the thing as well. Within the first 2 minutes of that programme, you see a photograph, for maybe less than a second, of a dead woman face down in a bed. And, maybe a year ago, 5 years ago, I'd have been, right, here we go! But I saw that and I just thought, ooh, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's sister, that's someone's high school friend, and they are being used in the opening titles of an entertainment series
to try and urge
about
people
their murder.
on. Yeah,
and it just sat very, very uncomfortably with me.
I kind of wish that I could react like that, because it makes things more. Like, I pride myself on the fact that I'm a decent guy and I try and do the right thing in life. But I'm so desensitised to anything like that, it just doesn't register.
Here's the thing, and I threw out the psychopath comment earlier on. It was half joke, it was half serious. You might actually be a psychopath in the truest medical definition of the word. That doesn't mean someone who goes around, killing people in Halloween. It's someone, very roughly, because I don't know the exact, but it's someone who has no empathy.
No empathy,
and maybe can simulate it.
But can simulate it. Maybe you are. That people are. Read the psychopath test, the John Ronson
I'm sure
book.
I've met one or two.
Yeah.
But the other thing is though that I think that doesn't help, even though I'm not prepared to change the situation.
Yeah.
Is because I've been on meds for years now for depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
That
smooths the edges a little bit. Yeah, that smooths the edges for me a little bit. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Simon.
I'd throw that one out there anyway. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. There we go. That's sorry, we totally killed the buzz for you there, Paul. I apologise.
No change there, then. Arsenal.
Paul Ross is in the... That was a football reference, I guess.
More Morecambe Wise than football.
Was it?
He used to cough Arsenal because he was on the Luton board.
He did.
So he's a big Luton face. Luton FC.
Okay. I never quite got that. All right, fine. Thank you.
I don't quite know what's funny, but anything Eric Morecambe did was kind of funny, wasn't it?
Is it because it's nearly arse? Is that what it was?
No,
you must lower the tone.
People that are just funny looking at them. Yeah. Eric Morecambe, Tommy Cooper, and Bob Mortimer.
Oh yeah.
You must have been in the room with Bob Mortimer.
He's a lovely fella, but he's just crumple-faced funny, isn't he?
Oh, it's just honestly, I've had meetings with Bob, and it's like a serious meeting, and you just sat there laughing, and he's going, "What?" And he's so funny.
And many years ago, I had to, as a researcher over the road at London Weekend Television, on the 6 o'clock show, we had Tommy Cooper as a guest with Steve Davis,
mate.
And I had to look after them. I was like the little runner. And Steve and Tommy were all required down the studio, so I walked down with them, and we were both there, and it was only down one flight of stairs, and Tommy Cooper was walking there, and I've got such a bad leg. And both me and Steve Davis started laughing. He said, no, I genuinely have. He said, I have this problem all the time.
Yeah.
Anything he said was funny.
Sounds like a setup for a gag.
Danny Baker tells a similar story about doing 6 o'clock show or something with him, and he came in, and they're all like just stood there waiting for him to do something. And he sat down and he went, my back is killing me. And they all burst out laughing. He goes, no, seriously, I've got this really bad back pain. And they're wetting themselves at it.
Funniest thing I've heard about, well, not the funniest thing, but he's apparently, he'd have a tea bag in his top pocket. Have you heard this?
No.
In his blazer. And when he came out of a hotel or whatever, he'd say to the concierge, have a drink on me. And they think it was paper, and they looked like it was a tea bag. It's a win-win, that, for old show.
There was a nice, on Channel 5, actually, over Christmas, there was a nice sort of not documentary, it was a Talking Heads thing about Tommy Cooper. I think it had been on before.
Oh, I think I saw it, yeah. It was cute.
Was in it, bizarrely. He's a big Tommy Cooper fan. But it was funny, man. I sat and watched. I didn't watch much over Christmas. I watched that.
But I have something for both of you.
Oh.
I meant to give you last week.
Is it a tea bag?
Sadly not, but Kath, left pocket or right pocket, because there's a difference.
Oh, left.
Oh,
you're spoiling me.
It's in a spam.
You get, though, the new generation spam with bacon.
With real bacon.
Whereas you just get
spam
good old-fashioned spam.
Oh, mate. I'm genuinely.
Thank you.
Because we were speaking last night, for those who don't know, about, I think I had a spam-scented candle sent to me once for Spam Week. And you both started drooling over spam.
Look at that picture on the back.
Oh,
spam, egg and chips.
Oh, spam.
Spam. You know that's where the word internet spam comes from. Is from the Monty Python.
Is it?
Sketch. Yeah. The internet spam is because they're all, kind of comedy nerds that started the internet. So spam is just when there's just too much of something that you don't want. It's spam.
I also knew how they make that batter that they used to have at my school for spam fritters.
Yeah.
And it was spam fritters, 8 chips or 9 chips. We used to count the chips and beans, and there were those congealed beans. But the batter on that spam fritter was just delicious. Almost had like noodle inside it or something. How they did it, I do not know.
This is getting done. This is getting.
I'm starting to feel really hungry.
What is on your show tonight, please?
The usual old tosh, but added vampires and dinosaurs tonight. The vampire story is very fascinating. My favourite museum, I think, if you guys are ever in the area, Kath may well have been because it's somewhere northern, is the Royal Armouries in Leeds.
Okay,
it's a beautiful modern building. They've got an amazing collection. This half term, they're doing a War Games week for kids. All kinds of on-screen stuff. They're going to have jousting. They're going to teach kids that kind of skill. It's an amazing museum. And they recently...
They're going to teach kids jousting?
Well, they're going to do jousting as a kind of on-screen. Sadly,
okay, good. Right.
Those were the days.
They get one go.
About 7 or 8 years ago, the man who's in charge of firearms bought a vampire killing kit, which purported to be from the 19th century. He spent $7,500 on it. They've researched it and sourced it. He's been all over the place now. He's found some. They tended to be attributed to a man called Professor Ernest Blomberg, from Germany, who's meant to be like a real-life Van Helsing.
Yeah.
The story's fascinating. Some people are paying $20,000 for these.
Wow.
And they've all got the mallet and the stakes and the pistol in the velvet case. They may be all authentic. Obviously, they were sold either as collectibles. What's fascinating is they all date from no earlier than 1922. When the first vampire film Nosferatu was released. It's a great story. And they've got it on show at the moment as a kind of... Because it's they know it's fake, but actually it's a huge, great slice of social history. So it's a great chat, the bloke.
Fantastic.
So looking forward to that.
There you go. Beautiful. Paul Ross is on after a while. You can give him a call as well if you want. 0344499.
Honestly, rather you didn't.
No, in that case, don't bother. Don't bother. Put your phones down.
Unless you're Alistair. He called last week. He was good news. Talk movies. Ruined a couple of endings for me.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Sam. We are back tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking about the Waco podcast, which should be called Wake Up to Waco, but it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Talk Radio.